мы хотим сделать то, что до нас никто не делал. То есть мы хотим вас научить сицилийскому триумфу. То есть что думают сицилийцы о триумфе. На Сицилии самое важное являются механизмы реализации и условия воспитания. Теперь мы хотели бы начать и пройти технологию сицилийского триумфа от первого до последнего момента и стать вот этим доном. То есть наш фильм о второй религии Сицилии. Как вот быть на вершине горы. Мы в настоящем Палермо. Да, не в том Палермо, который показывают туристам. Возьмите любую народность, любой народ, у него две религии. Вот смотрите, все религии, что вам говорят? В той или иной мере нужно быть благочестивым. То есть о власти, не думать. Власть Бог дает, человека Бог выбирает на власть, да? На какие-то властные функции, там, царя, падишаха какого-нибудь, еще что-то. То есть, а вам нужно кому молиться, кому еще что-то делать. И человеческая натура, она, в общем-то, с этим не сильно, в общем-то, согласна. Да. То есть она хочет ездить на хорошей машине, кушать вкусную пищу, и так далее, и тому подобное, одеваться прилично. Короче, быть не хуже всех остальных членов общества. Вторая религия, она существует у всех народов. И вся она о том, каким образом стоять на вершине этой горы и всех остальных сталкивать вниз, не давая залезть.
При этом есть два способа восхождения на эту гору. Делить между собой то, что было создано до вас, или создавать новое.
Так вот, мы как раз с вами будем разговаривать о той религии, которая позволяет не залезть на гору и всех сталкивать с этой горы, а с той, которая позволяет зайти на такую гору, чтобы ты был недостижим. Почему я хотел начинать работу вот с этой церкви? Дело в том, что эта церковь, она многократно переходила из рук в руки. Вы сейчас увидите, там символы одних народов, других, то есть там уничтожали эту церковь, хотели ее почему-то сделать своей очень многие. Здесь не так много храмов, где, как вот мы с Сашей в Греции видели, что ребята сильно воевали за вот эти вот культовые сооружения. Вот это как раз чуть ли не единственная в Палермо церковь, но в крайнем случае то, что я нашел, да, где вот это вот все происходило. Почему я выбрал этот храм? Он ярко олицетворяет вот этого царя горы. Да, вы видите. То есть этот храм многократно переходил из рук в руки мусульман, греков, норман и так далее и тому подобное. То есть я говорю теми категориями, которые вам понятны из современной классической истории. То есть вы видите, тут сбивались фрески, вы можете посмотреть, сбивались фрески, то есть приходила другая культовая система, вот, лупили, сбивали фрески, вы видите, вот, корона, видите, там наверху.
Так всегда происходит с теми, кто пытается достичь вершины, сбрасывая друг друга с горы.
Да, и вот когда мы говорим вот этой даосской притче, которая говорит о том, что если долго сидеть на одном месте, то вы увидите проплывающий труп своего врага. Это касается рабов. Это рабы положение свое что? Не изменяют. А те, кто себя господами считают, они положение свое что? Изменяют. А раз они положение свое изменяют, то получается так, что они могут быть как выше, так и ниже рабов. А рабы все время на одном положении. Поэтому есть такой эффект, что вот тех, кто сбросили с этой царя горы, кого пнули с этой горы, он кубарем вниз полетел, так он ниже раба становится.
Для того, чтобы добиться триумфа правильным способом, нужно для начала разобраться в понятиях.
Первое, с чего начинается триумф, человек не понимает, уровней, то есть нет классификации уровней нахождения как бы человека вот в этом триумфальном как бы состоянии, да? То есть триумф начинается как бы с иерархии.
Поэтому каждый раз, когда вы лезете наверх, стоит задуматься, чья это гора, чья классификация, а главное, зачем она была создана.
Любая искусственная иерархия, которая как бы создана, она создана для того, чтобы на эту гору не пускать. Но вся иллюзия в том заключается, что в этот момент времени человек считает, что гора одна. Именно тот, кто... То есть, вот смотрите, то есть первая как бы неприятность заключается в том, что существует иерархия, которую создал кто-то, и все считают, что эта иерархия единственная. Она не единственная.
Каждый из вас может создать свою иерархию. Но в любом случае вам для этого нужны определенные условия. У сицилийцев такие условия и есть.
По сути своей, любой дом – это корабль. То есть это условия, при которых рождается как бы ребенок в определенной как бы семье. То есть он уже заранее как бы привыкает к корабельной обстановке. Так как же, в общем-то, среднестатистический сицилиец себе видит вот этот подъем на эту гору? Есть правильное понимание, есть неправильное как бы понимание. Неправильное понимание – это прийти в чью-то семью, стать кем-то и в этой иерархии семьи подниматься до определенного уровня, а потом ждать, пока тебя признают как бы в этой семье как бы как главного, самого эффективного, самого там умного, самого хитрого и так далее, и назначат тебя руководителем как бы этой как бы семьи. Вам может не захотеться ждать, и вы убьете главу как бы семьи и станете на его место, перебив еще кучу людей. То есть, по сути своей, с чем это сродни? Это бунт на корабле. То есть, как бы вы устроите бунт на корабле, убьете капитана, водрузитесь на его место и попытаетесь как бы реализовывать это вот таким вот способом.
В этот момент вам может показаться, что вы залезли на вершину горы и добились триумфа. Вы забыли про две вещи. Во-первых, корабль может захватить такой же негодяй, как и вы. Во-вторых, даже если никто его не захватит, кораблем нужно управлять. А вы только что убили капитана. Поэтому к триумфу этот захват не имеет никакого отношения.
Правильная система, она как раз ведет человека к основе корабельного бога. То есть он должен стать основой корабельного бога, то есть стать командиром корабля. То есть если человек не становится командиром корабля, триумф как бы невозможен.
Но капитанами не рождаются, ими становятся. А для этого нужны соответствующие условия.
Вот в настоящем Палермо выливать воду за борт считается самым нормальным явлением. То есть, если ты постоянно не смотришь на окна, что кто-то выльет сейчас, вот видишь, таз висит, вот он этот таз, Если ты не видишь, что тебя сейчас на голову выльют, так сказать, воду, то ты будешь как мокрая курица, то есть тебя обольют как бы водой. Вот. То есть отсюда как бы вывод сделать, что уже вся тренировка происходит в процессе жизнедеятельности без человеческого желания. Ребенок с детства становится внимательным, он приобретает бинокулярное зрение, пространственное мышление и живет в глобусной системе координат, а не в купольной, как люди. И первому, чему, в общем-то, учат на Сицилии ребенка, это тому, что никто сильнее, тот и прав. Да, то есть правда в правде, да? То есть правда в традициях, правда, то есть, по сути, вот тебе кажется, что ты сильный и очень смелый. Это хорошо. Это хороший фундамент для того, чтобы стать основой корабельного богатырского командира. Но этого недостаточно. Нужно учесть опыт предков. Это изучается только у старших товарищей. То есть это помнят только старшие. Здесь есть такое понятие, как чаперони. То есть лицо, отошедшее от дел, но уважаемый человек. То есть он как бы не захотел идти ввысь, да? Он проходил там, например, штурманом или кем-то еще. Он знает людей. Он в возрасте. То есть это человек, которому 50 там, и так далее. Это чаперони. Мне мой, так сказать, друг сицилийский, владелец нашей гостиницы, объяснял, что самый главный дедушка в семье. Потому что дедушка больше всех историй знает. Как не допустить определенного рода вещей. А вот как сделать, ты должен думать сам. То есть дедушка тебе объясняет, как не сделать ошибку. Что нужно учесть перед тем, как ты собираешься что-то делать.
Итак, условия есть. Но этого недостаточно. Нужны умения. Как они возникают? Здесь, на Сицилии, занимаясь ремеслом, люди должны быть в любой момент готовы к войне. Иначе капитаны не появляются. Капитан должен пройти через войну.
Тебя на эту войну спровоцируют и так. Хочешь ты этого или нет? Как бы хочешь.
Цена ошибки на войне – человеческая жизнь. Чтобы выжить и победить, возникает необходимость в тактике и стратегии.
Когда человек заменяет на деньги знания, а власть на способности, он превращается в идиота. А наша задача понять, что без тактики и стратегии триумф не реализуем. В свое время спрашивали, что такое тактика и стратегия, я очень просто объяснял, что тактика – это плоскости приложения усилий, способы приложения усилий, а стратегия – это конечный результат и то, чем мы располагаем. Когда мы говорим стратегия, это то, что определяет силовой компонент, то есть силу. И получается так, что у человека, у которого нет доктрины, нет машины доктрины, нет стратегической концепции, которая заводит как ключом эту машину, ничего у этого человека в жизни как бы не получится. Самая сильная машина, божественная, которая существует, это машина доктрины. А почему мы так считаем? Мы тут говорили об этом многократно уже, но я покажу на конкретном как бы примере. Здесь в Сицилии это очень хорошо как бы заметно и видно будет вам. Дело в том, что большинство людей считают, что самое дорогое, что есть у человека на его земном поприще, это его жизнь. Да. Вот в Сицилии так не считают. Здесь цена человеческой жизни – грош. Твоя жизнь приобретает ценность, когда ты что-то из себя представляешь. И вот это ловушка, если нет доктрины. Потому что чем больше ты из себя представляешь, тем больше ты обрастаешь храмами, людьми, кораблями, богатством и так далее, тем больше ты дорожишь этим и становишься слабее, слабее и слабее, если у тебя нет доктрины. То есть доктрина исключает возможность стать слабым человеком. Если человек выбрал доктрину, придерживается, считает ее правдой, то такого человека, для такого человека жизнь не имеет никакого значения. То есть важно только то, что есть и будет. Но на Сицилии считают, что лучше умереть в бою, чем быть вот этой вот мокрой курицей, которая ни на что не способна. Поэтому, когда мы говорим, что стратегию и стратегическую концепцию должна определять доктрина, это правильное миропонимание как бы человека. Для нас доктрина является постамент. Для сицилийца доктриной является практика вот этой второй как бы религии. Практика, то есть совокупная практика всех предков и знания – это то, что определяет стратегию. То есть знание порождает стратегию. Когда мы говорим деньги и власть, да, деньги и власть, это по сути свои знания и способности. То есть способности – это власть, знания – это деньги. Когда человек заменяет на деньги знания, а власть на способности, он превращается в идиот. Но когда у него есть и знания, и способности, он становится богатым и очень влиятельным. При этом он это делает не потому что ему нужны деньги и власть, а потому что он берет на себя ответственность за поддержание порядка на определенной как бы земле. Именно тот, кто смог добиться этого сицилийского триумфа, то есть, что такое сицилийский триумф? Это, по сути, стать основой корабельного бога, то есть стать доном, стать главой семьи. Это и есть сицилийский триумф. Тот, кто стал доном, он обязан смотреть за порядком. То есть сохранять вот эти же условия для других людей, чтобы они тоже могли стать основой корабельного бога. Иначе откуда же появлялись бы флотилии? Вы же прекрасно понимаете. Таким же образом здесь обучают тактику. В основе тактики лежит сицилийское воинское как бы искусство. Почему так? Вы вообще когда-то о таком слышали? Его нет. Оно секретное, все правильно. Когда я его взламывал, как бы в свое время, вы помните, кобра это нарисована, у них тактикой является вот тактика вот этой змеи. Обратите внимание на систему рукопашного боя. Она тоже как бы змеиная. То есть все удары вкручивающиеся. Я показывал. Есть даже видео, где я показывал. Все удары вкручивающиеся, как у змеи. Постоянное понижение, повышение уровня, как бы положение тела при решении как задач. Очень много атакуются ноги, пах, очень много атакуются и холодным оружием, живот, ну и прочие как бы вещи. То есть нижний уровень, очень снизу вверх очень много количества тактических как бы действий определяется. То есть по сути своей, если мы говорим о таком вот воинском искусстве, оно нам очень хорошо объясняет тактику, которая как бы происходит. То есть притвориться, что ты ничего из себя не представляешь, что ты лох бомбейский, и всех передушить. Вспомните «Крестного отца», Марио Пьюзо. Притвориться, что ты уходишь от дел и так далее, в один день всех перестрелять. Да. То есть вот она основа тактики. Как бы здесь. То есть удар на разжатой пружине, змея, она сжимается. Удар на разжатой пружине – это основа сицилийской как бы тактики.
Именно поэтому сицилийское воинское искусство хранится в секрете. Но Сицилия не является единственным местом на планете, где все происходит именно так.
Что то же самое происходит в Японии. То есть там самурайские кланы держат воинское искусство в своем секрете. Здесь семьи держат в своем как бы секрете.
Но для того, чтобы получить доступ к секретам и технологиям триумфа, необходимо каким-то образом оказаться в семье. На этом этапе возникает 4 категории людей.
Первый тип людей – это те, кто пришли в семью. Эти люди хотят доказать, что они что-то есть, чтобы в семье что оставили, да. Но эти люди ничего не умеют и ничего не знают.
Эти люди совершают только простые действия. От них ожидают поступков, и новички их совершают. Они сами себя превращают в наконечник копья. Этот шаг всегда имеет определенные последствия.
То есть, как бы теперь этот человек будет жить где-то в другом месте, прятаться И вот это вот время, когда он прячется как бы от закона, это другая часть, которая воспитывает эту личность. То есть это воспитывает терпение. То есть в основе социалистской тактики лежит терпение вот этой змеи, которая как бы ударит потом в определенный момент времени.
Вторая категория людей – это люди более высокого порядка. Они профессионально занимаются воинской системой.
Профессиональные солдаты, их так и называют, солдаты здесь, как бы профессиональные солдаты, они как бы решают текущие задачи. Они решают текущие задачи. То есть конфликты и так далее и тому подобное, они объединены в группы, обладают достаточно хорошим мастерством и, так сказать, способны как в бизнесе работать, так и на войне воевать. То есть это вот такая вот двойная многофункциональность. Третий уровень – это командиры их. Это их командиры. То есть это люди, которые способны этими группами солдат как бы управлять. Следующий уровень – это интеллектуалы. То есть люди, которые способны планировать стратегию, планировать тактику, которые определяют стратегическую концепцию и реализацию стратегической концепции. Вот. Это консультанты или советники, как бы, которые здесь. И голова змеи, это, по сути своей дон. То есть, как бы, человек, который как бы руководит кораблем. То есть, как бы, по сути, командир как бы, корабля.
Внутри семьи для человека созданы все условия для решения задачи любой категории сложности.
То есть любой социалист понимает, что он, в общем-то, один, и что как бы за него никто делать ничего как бы не будет. Поэтому ему нужно с кем-то советоваться для того, чтобы учиться принимать правильные как бы решения. Для этого у него существуют уважаемые люди, к которым он ходит как бы советоваться. Это уровень советников, да? Дальше. Уровень руководства собственными действиями. То есть есть дедушки, чемпионы, да, к которым они ходят и которые определяют тактические или рисуют тактические схемы, учат тактическим схемам этого как бы молодца доброго, так сказать. Дальше. Уровень так называемый солдата. То есть он вынужден, в общем-то, тренироваться самостоятельно. То есть в основе как бы социалистской системы лежит самостоятельная тренировка. От начала жизнедеятельности, вы помните, когда он живет в корабельных условиях, ждет, пока ему на голову выльет воду, когда он ходит по улице, то есть он тренируется в процессе жизни, он так организует, тут с одной стороны жизнь так организована, а с другой стороны он вынужден с холодным оружием в рукопашном бою самостоятельно упражняться для того, чтобы мочь любому дать укорот, как бы по причине того, что здесь как бы на этом уровне, третьем, сила имеет основополагающее значение, поэтому появляются старшие товарищи, которые как бы обучают его разного рода уловкам, приемам, которые как бы позволяют себя реализовать. И простые действия, да? Когда наступает момент, когда нужно совершить поступок, то человек этот поступок как бы совершает и уходит в затвор. Потому что мы как бы говорим о тактике и стратегии, что здесь созданы все условия, многоуровневая иерархия, которая как бы решает эти как бы задачи.
Но как возникает тактика и стратегия? А главное, что их определяет?
Доктрина сильнее. Она избавляет человека от страха, избавляет от будущего, от боли, от всего. То есть это вещь, которая как бы самая мощная машина, которая как бы вообще существует. Отсюда как бы вывод, да, то есть как бы такой, совершенно интересный, что если вот это у нас доктрина, она, так сказать, сделана с умом, правильными людьми, и она правдива, то есть эффективно, многофункционально доказана человеку, он ее принял, да, то есть и она, по его мнению, благо несет. Почему я говорю по его мнению? Потому что здесь много спорных как бы моментов, что благо, что не благо. То есть и она отвечает РПТК один раструб, как бы это доктрина, а по сути своей доктрина это и есть РПТК один раструб, то есть как бы это так, это фундамент доктрины, то в таком случае как бы этот человек сильнее сильного как бы становится. У него появляется потребность в реализации. Да, а отсюда возникает потребность тактики и стратегии, потребность в знаниях и развитии собственных как бы способностей, навыков и прочих как бы вещей. Отсюда как бы возникает как бы необходимость четко контролировать, чтобы деньги не заменили знания, а власть не заменила способности.
И все это требует изменений. Человек, который собирается добиться триумфа в своей жизни, должен быть к этому готов и должен знать, как это можно реализовать.
Обратите внимание, что Палыч как бы говорил о том, что человек меняет себя посредством 4 этапов, да, то есть как бы классификация, мы говорим, да, тактика, инструменты под эту тактику, механизмы реализации и приспособления, и в результате изменения двигательного как бы навыка. То есть это последовательность изменения. Последовательность изменений, которые человек в себя вносит, улучшая усовершенствование как бы себя. Обратите внимание, здесь на Сицилии построено все точно таким же способом. То есть тебя классификацию тебе дают советники, Мы спускаемся ниже на уровень командиров, как бы они тебе дают тактику, они тебя обучают тактике. Спускаемся на уровень солдата, они тебя учат приемам, механизмам и так далее и тому подобное.
Только так человек становится частью семьи и начинает свой путь к триумфу. Стоит отметить, что этот путь ничем по сути не отличается от венецианской системы, которой будет посвящен один из следующих документальных фильмов.
Венецианская система, которая лежит в основе сицилийской как бы системы, она одинакова. Она может называться по-другому. Но то, чему меня учил Палыч, и то, что существует на Сицилии, они идентичны. Условия разные, в которых мы живем. Что же разные? Условия, в которых мы живем, они разные. Можно стать самому кем-то. Проблем нет, без условий. Да. Но если ты хочешь воспитать команду корабля, если ты хочешь, чтобы люди имели возможность расти, нужен сад. То есть деревья без сада не растут. То есть если стоит одинокое дерево, его срубают. А в сад никто не заходит, потому что сад охраняют. Вот когда мы были в гранатовом саде, очень каббалистическое место, да, гранатовый сад, там вот этот сад и есть символ вот главенства условий, вот этого образа жизни над всем остальным. И вот этот сад, его условия, его правила и есть вот эта вторая религия, которая является основой фундамента тактики и стратегии, которая обеспечивает триумф.
Результат восхождения на гору напрямую зависит от того, в какой почве, в какой среде окажется человек. К примеру, сегодняшняя Европа и Сицилия. Континент один, а вот условия разные. В итоге результаты тоже разные.
Сицилиец – это совершенно другой человек. Здесь никто не хочет, чтобы за него, что он сам хочет добиться всего как бы в жизни. Существуют ли у нас такие люди? Безусловно. Если бы в Европе не было людей, про которых я говорю, у нас бы не было ни Фрейда, ни Юнга, ни другой какой-то как бы системы людей, ни Эйнштейна. Не было бы ученых знаменитых, потому что Германия и Австрия – это и хранилище всей психиатрии мира, как бы, и математики, и философии, и так далее. Что, не было людей? Были. Что, не хотели добиться? Каждый из них добился. Все было, все в наличии. Исчезло. Куда, вопрос исчезло? Здесь ничего не исчезло, вы видите.
Но даже при этом есть обязательное условие для успешного восхождения на гору.
Если мы не организовываем свою жизнь, которая учит нас одновременно тактике и стратегии, таким способом, чтобы в процессе жизнедеятельности обучаться тактике и стратегии, нам никакого триумфа как бы не видать. Сегодня мы хотели бы начать и пройти технологию сицилийского триумфа от первого до последнего как бы момента и стать вот этим доном. На Сицилии самое важное являются механизмы реализации и условия воспитания. Можно доном Палермо стать. Не обязательно доном Корлеоне. Так вот, когда мы говорим о том, в чем основа как бы тактики, тактика бывает двух видов. То есть человеку, прежде чем совершить действие, нужно понять, как это действие как бы совершается. Если у нас выстроена вот эта система из консультантах, старших товарищей, я быстрее других смогу понять, как это сделать. Не бывает рецептов в реализации. То есть есть принципы, есть механизмы, которые можно было, приемы и так далее и тому подобное, но отвечаешь ты за применение их самостоятельно. То есть ты как бы превращаешься в определенного исследователя. То есть тебе нужно исследовать это в процессе жизнедеятельности, чтобы понять, что тебе больше как бы подходит. Потому что то, что подходит одному человеку, не всегда подходит как бы другому. Так вот, опять же, где взять этот набор принципов, взять набор приемов? То есть если нет вот этой системы триумфа выстроенной, нету как бы ни советников, нет ни военачальников, нет ни солдат, которые могут научить, то есть негде брать ни механизмы реализации, нет чапероний, как бы нет знаний, да?
В таком случае жизнь превращается в погоню за властью и деньгами. Отсутствие доктрины означает жизнь без принципов, стратегии и тактики.
То есть где мы берем принципы? В доктрине, да? То есть доктрина нам и выдает систему принципов. Если нам дали доктрину, то все принципы у нас что? Существуют. Где мы берем механизмы реализации? Безусловно, у командиров. И потому они командиры кораблей, да? Что военачальники, потому что они знают о механизмах реализации больше всех. Потому они командуют.
Солдаты обеспечивают работу с приспособлениями. Таким образом появляется целостность и стройность системы.
У советников располагаются принципы, да? У военачальников механизмы реализации. У солдат работа с приспособлениями. То есть если я не имею всего этого в своем распоряжении, то я никогда в жизни ничего не добьюсь.
Эта система является устойчивой до тех пор, пока люди находятся на уровнях, которые соответствуют их способностям. Для непрерывного движения вверх необходимо, чтобы каждый человек внутри системы имел доступ к самым эффективным машинам тактики. Человек
должен иметь в основе тактики полнодиапазонную технологию, как это наивысшая машина тактики. Мы сейчас к ней пойдем. Вот она, тактическая машина полнодиапазонной технологии, можем посмотреть. Ну, 4 как бы положения вещей, да, вот он, главенство тактики, то есть вот главенство тактики, а по сути своей главенство военачальников, да, мы говорим, что механизмы реализации это самое как бы важное. Да, то есть условия и механизмы реализации, да, то есть поэтому эта система нам четко вот нас приводит к тому пониманию, что здесь на Сицилии самое важное являются механизмы реализации и условия воспитания, условия воспитания. То есть я описал в первых 3 разделах все необходимые компоненты и условия, которые нужны для решения задачи. А теперь мы хотели бы начать. И пройти технологию сицилийского триумфа от первого до последнего как бы момента и стать вот этим Доном Корлеоне. Ну, наверное, Корлеоне. Можно не обязательно, можно Доном Палермо стать. Не обязательно Дона Корлеоне. На войне человек очень быстро как бы учится. Становится как бы солдатом, потом становится военачальником, а после этого как бы становится доном. Давайте посмотрим, как начать. Как начинает среднестатистический сицилийский подросток. Есть 2 состояния. Есть мира и войны. Раньше, вы помните, самый простой способ было начать – это вырасти в таких условиях и, так сказать, совершенно спокойно уйти в море. Да, то есть война – это самый простой способ начать. На войне человек очень быстро как бы учится. То есть причастие этой системе, то есть причастие войне, плюс смерть, который ходит за тобой по пятам, человек очень быстро учится.
Первым делом человеку, который оказался внутри семьи, предстоит научиться ходить.
Что же такое научиться как бы ходить? Научиться ходить – это значит научиться использовать эту систему. Систему, которая ведет как бы к триумфу.
Как вы помните, на первом этапе человек должен быть готов совершать поступки.
То есть, по сути своей, приходит он вот неким подмастерье, подручным, да, так называемым, становится как бы солдатом, потом становится военачальником, а после этого как бы становится доном, да, то есть как бы советником и доном, да, то есть.
На войне движение по вертикальной иерархии происходит быстро.
В дни мира все намного как бы сложнее. Сложность заключается в том, что тебе надо либо примкнуть к семье, либо самостоятельно совершенствоваться и стать основой как бы корабельного бога.
Большинство людей на Сицилии считают, что самый простой способ добиться триумфа – примкнуть к семье и подняться вверх по иерархии.
Если же он родился в семье, где эта иерархия как бы существует, то к определенным годам он становится как бы самостоятельным, то есть учится ходить, затем учится быть координируемым, мы отдельно о координации поговорим. Он быстро обучается, как бы и очень быстро приобретает необходимые навыки для того, чтобы показать всем, что он в одиночку способен самостоятельно, без кого бы то ни было, добиваться объективных как бы результатов. Когда мы говорим, что в сицилийской системе, что люди учатся ходить, мы имеем в виду, что они учатся пользоваться этой системой именно. То есть, а по сути своей это трехэтажная как бы система, она здесь везде показана корабельного бога. Вы помните, вы будете смотреть на Дворцовую площадь перед дворцом Норманов, там стоит корабельный бог, он трехэтажный. Фонтан стыда тоже трехэтажный, все трехэтажно. То есть это и есть эта система из советников, военачальников и солдат. Как только вы причастны к этой системе и можете пользоваться на любом уровне обучающей программы, вы очень быстро становитесь человеком, который уже умеет ходить. То есть может самостоятельно совершать поступки или самостоятельно создавать как бы результаты. К этому человеку начинают тянуться как бы люди. Возникает некая группа вокруг этого человека, и после этого возникает как бы корабельный как бы бог.
Только после этого создается корабль, компания, семья и любая другая система, которую возглавляет капитан.
Это столкновение должно высечь ту самую искру. Это столкновение должно определить, кто же лучший боксер последней части прошлого столетия. Спор этот немножко затянулся, как мы с вами понимаем. И поставить жирную точку в конце этой эпохи.
It is time for our historic night of boxing and our long-awaited, much-anticipated featured bout of the evening. This bout coming away is brought to you by Lion Promotions, Main Events and Fight Night, Inc. in association with Prize Fight Promotions as presented by the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser.
Boxing fans, the moment we've all been waiting for is here. It's the Rumble on the River.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, the time for talk is over. The time to fight is here. It's the time we've all been
Время препирательств, время разговоров, время взаимных нападок и угроз закончилось. Майк Тайсон, 49 побед за плечами. Когда-то Леннокс Льюис отказался от Вашингтона как место проведения этого боя, считая, что там будет слишком много сторонников у Майка Тайсона. Если бы он знал, сколько их будет у него тут в Мемфисе, он бы, наверное, передумал.
trimmed with red letters and officially weighing 249 1/4 pounds. He captured Olympic gold in 1988. Now, as a professional, he has 39 victories, including 30 knockouts and 3 world titles. He has 2 defeats and a draw, all by way of rematch have been changed to victories, making him one of the few men in boxing history to have virtually defeated every man he has ever faced. Ladies and gentlemen, from London, England, presenting the 3-time world champion, the linear, legitimate, and universally recognized, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
Все знают, Майку надо выбить Льюиса в начале боя. Льюис с ним разберется в конце боя. Майку надо прорваться на свою дистанцию. Льюис слишком высок, слишком длинны у него руки, слишком тяжелые удары. И Льюис это знает. Он не хочет пускать Тайсона, и он хочет попасть в него сразу и заранее. Тайсон бросается, опасно бросается, не достает. Он прямолинеен, он делает именно то, что от него ждет и Льюис, и его тренер Эммануэль Стюарт. И в этом очень большая опасность того, что бой может кончиться рано. «15 камер разглядывают это событие скрупулезнейшим образом, с разных углов. И Тайсон снова задевает Льюиса. Публика приходит в восторг, но Льюиса не такие удары терпел. Слишком на излете все это, слишком нерасчетливо, слишком не та дистанция у Тайсона, чтобы действительно всерьез попасть и встряхнуть Льюиса. Нет, не такого боя ждали поклонники Тайсона. Все ждали, что это будет расчетливая, умная игра по этажам, как говорит здесь, чередуя атаки в туловище и в голову, постоянно угрожая. Вместо этого Тайсон идет по прямой на противника, бросается. И вот то, что сейчас сделал и промахнулся Льюис, это и будет самой большой опасностью для Тайсона, если он все-таки не промахнется. Встречный удар. То, на что нарвался Тайсон в бою с Холлифилдом. И Льюис наверняка хорошо усвоил урок того боя. Он знает, как боксировать с Тайсоном. Никто не слышит гонга даже. Успокоить пытается Тайсона в углу. Тайсон здорово умел уклоняться при сближении раньше. Сейчас это искусство напрочь им забыто. Клинч ему не выгоден для Льюису. Да, Льюис будет вязать. Будет вязать и правильно будет делать. Один раз свяжет, другой раз ударит. Льюис знает свою задачу, ему главное не подставиться. Тайсон начинает пропускать и этот джеб, и пропускает правый апперкот. Слишком издалека начинает атаку Тайсона. Ее прочитывает Льюис. Подойти ближе Льюис не дает. Эдди делает замечание, Эдди Каттон, рефери, Льюису задержание. Тайсон даже не пытается как-то варьировать свою скорость. Он все делает одинаково, с одинаковой скоростью. Ведь он раньше очень много мог в этом плане. Он мог подобраться, он сближался решительно, но хитро. Он никогда не подставлялся, не шел по прямой. Чему учили его теперешние тренеры, непонятно. Может быть, вся беда в том, что его ничего уже нельзя научить. Льюис блестяще. Мы с вами говорили о том, что Льюис боксер. Боксер — это означает, что это боец, который умеет делать в ринге все. Рационально, четко, вовремя и то, что надо. Вот что противостоит Тайсону. Эти ребята в углу у Тайсона видят, что Тайсон не достает своим левым прямым, который он достаточно редко выбрасывает. И они требуют, чтобы уж он не бил в голову, а бил в грудь. Встречный удар. Это в этом бою будет главное оружие Льюиса. Льюис намного тяжелее Тайсона. Так что даже когда он отталкивает его, то заметно превосходство в весе. Самое опасное для Тайсона, это когда Льюис почувствует себя хозяином на ринге. А он уже близок к этому. И действовать он будет максимально просто. Простота – это дальние дистанции, жесткие опережающие удары или стоппинги, останавливающие Тайсона. И в тот момент, когда не удастся остановить, клинч. Льюис видит все, что делает Тайсон, все, что он задумал. И его задача просто найти момент для встречного удара. А Тайсон же, когда сближается, он уже теряет пространство. Льюис ему дает либо слишком большое пространство для атаки, слишком далеко заставляет его стоять, либо слишком близко, где нельзя разогнать удар. Видно, напряжение так велико, особенно для Тайсона сейчас, потому что Льюис освоился, что он устал. Похоже, что он устал. Третий раунд кончается, Тайсон уже снизил обороты, снизил скорость. Тайсон проводит левый крюк. Не плотно и не чисто, иначе бы бой закончился, все это знают. Это даже не встряхнуло Льюиса. Да. Вопрос опережения. Кто раньше попадет, кто раньше устанет. Некрасиво повел себя Льюис. Задел таки Тайсона уже после гонга. Согласен я с подсказками. Правильно. Охотится за головой Тайсон постоянно. Вот это не была результативная атака. На повторе мы это видим хорошо. Тайсон, который всегда действовал комбинациями, сейчас обходится одним ударом. Тайсон, который начинал атаку с туловища с любым боксером, чем выше он был, тем лучше для Тайсона было. Сейчас только за головой охотится. Почему все это я говорю? Да потому что как жалко, что Тайсон утратил почти все, что сделало его тем самым Тайсоном. Льюис почувствовал усталость Тайсона, почувствовал его растерянность. Классический кросс правой через руку. Льюис. Четвертый раунд. Тайсон утерял уже скорость полностью. Все еще может быть. Может открыться и второе дыхание. Кто знает. то, что делал сейчас Тайсон, конечно, жалко, что так размашисто. Это сокрушительный удар правый на правый. Тайсон промахнулся. Да, порох кончился. Кончился порох.
Looked like a clear knockdown. And Eddie Cotton now. Taking a point.
Что там произошло, непонятно. Да. Эммануэль Стюарт взбешен, просто взбешен. Сколько можно толкать, наваливаться и нарушать правила, говорит он Ленноксу Льюису. Правда, терминологию я уж не стану вам переводить. Давайте посмотрим, что тут. Вот смотрите, что он сделал. Все думали, что это нокдаун какой-то. Нет. Вот он снимает очко с Льюиса. И снова Тайсон пытается достать Леннокса Льюиса левой на скачке. Он видит, что тот держит опущенную правую руку, но у Льюиса просто автоматически наработана вот эта защита блоком. Как только Тайсон сближается, он сразу ставит перчатку к уху, к подбородку. Пока он далеко от него, он может не брежничать. Он знает, что Тайсон не способен достать. Пятый раунд. Тайсон устал. Вот он справедливо делает замечание, хотя многие могут воспринять это как придирку, но держит одной рукой и бьет другой Леннокс Льюис. Да, на месте делает Тайсон уклоны, и это ему ничего не дает. Нужен шаг вперед с уклоном. И как раз происходит то, что предрекали все так называемые аналитики, эксперты. Бой переходит в поздние раунды. Именно тогда, когда Тайсон устанет, а Льюис почувствует себя хозяином. Как будто кто-то этот сценарий расписал заранее, заставил их выучить роли. Прекратить это все мог бы только Майк Тайсон. Но он не готов к этому. Ноги не идут у Тайсона. Очень тяжело ему двигаться, особенно вперед.
Catch you with some chin if you don't want it. They've had his day out there, but he wants to quit. But you out here playing 10 rounds.
Give me all you got 1 round.
Just let me go hands. I just want your hands moving this round. Can you take both your eyes? You can see me, Mike. Get your hands moving this round for me.
Mike, you go out. You're fine.
No, I need your hands moving. Just get this. You got too much distance. You let this guy jab the hell out of you. You got to move your hands. Now we got to win this round right here. Okay? Let this shit go. Right hand over top, right hand uppercut. Stay alert, man. Any longer this fight going, this man is dangerous. You better get him out of here. Exactly. Goddamn right. Now, this is ridiculous. Stay alert. Hands up. Get this brother. Let's go. All right, get up, get up, get up, get up. Get up. Get out, get out, let's come on, get out. Come on, let's go.
Да, друзья мои, Тайсон проигрывает бой, проигрывает вчистую. Он никак не может выполнить то, что ему советуют, то, что от него требуют. Нет ни сил, ни скорости противостоять этим назойливым джебам Леннокса Льюиса. 50% ударов Льюиса идут в цель, точно в цель. Атаки Тайсона снижаются и по интенсивности, и по количеству с каждым раундом, от раунда к раунду. Жестокий удар сейчас Тайсон пропустил. Чтобы Тайсону немножко легче все делать, не быть таким заряженным на мощный удар. Ему нужно быстрее действовать ногами, может быть, чем руками. Тогда руки сами полетят. Ему нужно сближение, даже не продумывая, если продолжение атаки. Ему нужно суметь сблизиться раз, два с Льюисом таким образом, чтобы он просто промахнулся, пустил его к себе. И тогда можно действовать уже спокойно. Тайсон статично держится на нужной Льюису дистанции. Первый удар в туловище, по-моему, за весь бой у Тайсона. Хотя он может заблокировать опасную правую руку Льюиса вот этими ударами левой снизу. Ни разу не попытался сделать. Тайсон к этому бою не готов. Что угодно говорите, я абсолютно убежден. Он не готов физически прежде всего. Он устал, он выложился. Раз за разом он пропускает удары справа, зная, что Льюис бьет справа, как из пушки, и они должны были готовы к этому быть. Все, что угодно пропускал Тайсон, но не такой размашистый правый крюк. Он его не видел. Отпусти руки, пусть они летят. Больше надо делать, больше. Где уклоны, где смещение? Что ж ты стоишь под огнем? Вот примерно, в общем, такой анализ в углу получает Тайсон. Ну а что, собственно, тут и так все ясно. Неужели Тайсон сам этого не видит, не понимает? Проблема в том, что с Тайсоном, наверное, очень трудно работать, я так думаю. Я говорю о его тренерах. По части самодисциплины или дисциплины, там вообще эти понятия неизвестны, насколько я слышал. В этом вся проблема. Что ждет Тайсон сейчас? Он словно прилип к полу, он не делает ни одного шага, ни в сторону, ни вперед, ни назад. Тайсон забывает элементарные уроки. То, что он делает сейчас, он обязан был делать в начале боя. Он мог давно уже отучить Леннокса Льюиса от этой привычки бить повторные джебы. Майк, давай, пошел, вперед. Нет уже, некуда идти. Майк может не достоять в 8-м раунде. Льюис бьет на выбор. Бьет просто на выбор. Он уже не опасается ни встречных атак, ни ответных. Бой закончен. И закончилась эпоха. Закончилась эпоха Тайсона. Вот сейчас, после этого удара, растратился, исчез, растворился магнетизм Тайсона. И все-таки никогда эту эпоху не назовут эпохой Льюиса. Никогда. Леннокс Льюис не был, не является и не будет таким магнитом, как Тайсон. Когда-нибудь, разбирая этот бой, аналитики скажут, что боксер побил слагера. Но есть еще старая поговорка, которая появилась на заре бокса. Маленький хороший боец всегда проиграет большому хорошему бойцу. Вы все видите сами. Это был уже не бокс, это был расстрел. Снова и снова эти моменты будут крутиться на экранах много недель, поверьте мне. Потому что это не просто очередной бой, и очередной нокаут, очередное разочарование для многих американцев и ликование для бритов. Нет. Это конец исторического отрезка. Ленокс Льюис. Победа нокаутом. Абсолютный чемпион Ленокс Льюис.
We want to do something that has never been done before us. We want to teach you the Sicilian triumph. What the Sicilians think of when they think triumph. The most important thing in Sicily is mechanisms of fulfillment and circumstances of training. So what we want to do is go from beginning to end of the Sicilian triumph and become what they call the Don. Our film is about the second religion of Sicily. It's about how to be at the top of the mountain. As you can see, we're in the real Palermo, not the Palermo that is shown to the tourists. Let's take any nation. Any nation has two religions, one of which says you have to be humble and not think about the power. The power will be given by God to the ones that are worthy. It says that, you know, God chooses the person to be the Tsar and other things of that nature. But the funny thing is that the human nature, you know, it doesn't agree with that. Human nature, it wants to drive a good car, good expensive car. It wants to eat good food. Also to dress well. Well, it doesn't want to be worse than everybody else. And the second religion, it exists with all the nations of the world. It exists. And that religion is about how to be at the top of that mountain and to push everybody else down. And there are two ways to be at the top of the mountain, either to share what has been already created or to create your own. We're not going to talk about the religion of how to climb the mountain and push everybody else down. We're going to talk about how to become so high that you're unreachable. So the reason why I wanted to start our conversation from this church is because this church has been handed down from hands to hands. We will go inside, you will see symbols of many different nations. It has been destroyed and reconstructed, and many different nations wanted to make it their own. There are not many churches like that here in Sicily. As me and Alex saw in Greece, where most of the churches have been brutally fought for.
Где вот это вот все как бы происходило.
The reason that I chose this church is because it's the great example of that king of the mountain. This church has been won over and transferred from Muslims to Greeks, to Normans and so forth and so on. I'm talking with you in terms of the traditional history so that you can understand better. As you can see, the mosaic has been knocked off by hammers, as you can see here. As you can see, they used hammers to knock off that crown that was there. That will always happen to the ones who try to reach the top by knocking the other ones down. If you remember, there's a saying that goes, if you wait long enough, the body of your opponent will float by in the river. That saying is for slaves. Slaves are the ones who never change their level of preparation. They're always on the same level. But the lords can move their level of preparation up or down. Slaves are always at the same level, but lords can either go all the way up or down below slaves. There is such an effect to where whenever you're pushed off the mountain, you fall so far down, you fall below the slaves. To reach glory the right way, you have to understand the concepts. The first thing that the triumph starts with is levels, understanding the levels that you're on. The person doesn't have any kind of classification of the level that he's on. And so before you start climbing a mountain, you have to think, whose mountain is it? Whose classification is it? And most importantly, what was it created for? Any man-made hierarchy is created with a purpose of not letting others get to the top. But there's an illusion, and the person for some reason always thinks that there's only one mountain. The first strange thing that we're faced with is there is a certain hierarchy that has been created by somebody, and all of the people around think that that's the only hierarchy. It's not the only hierarchy. Every single one of you can create your own hierarchy, but in this case you will need certain conditions. Sicilians, they have those conditions. In reality, every house that you see here is a ship. And those are the conditions that a child is born into here. And from birth, he's acquainted with the conditions that exist on a ship. So how does the regular Sicilian comprehend this climbing of the mountain? There is a right understanding, and then there's a wrong understanding. The wrong understanding is to enter someone else's family, and then in that family raise yourself to a certain level, and then wait until you are recognized as the most strongest, smartest, and wait until you are chosen to be the head of that family. But the person may not want to wait, and he's gonna kill the head of that family and become the head of the family himself. And this can be compared to a riot on a ship. So pretty much you start a riot, you kill the captain, and you become the head of the family. At this moment, you may feel like you have gotten to the top of the mountain. But you forgot about a couple of things. First, the ship can be taken over by the same kind of idiot like you. Second problem is the ship needs to have a captain, and you have just killed a captain. So this has nothing to do with triumph. The right system is something that brings a person to becoming part of the ship God. The right system is the one that transforms you into a real captain of your own ship. But captains are not born. Captains are made, and you need special conditions for that. You know, here in real Palermo, to throw a bucket of water over the balcony, it's a regular thing. So whenever you're walking around here and you're not constantly on your guard, looking around, well, you're going to have a bucket of water thrown on you, and you're going to be like a wet chicken. So the first conclusion that can be made is that training is constant in a person's life here, whether he wants it or not want it. This allows a child to become aware from birth. All of his senses become trained, and he starts to live in a globe, not inside a cone like most people. And they don't teach people from birth that the strongest is the most right. They teach that the right is the right, the tradition and things like that is the truth. You know, you may think that you are strong and fearless, and that is good. It's a good base to becoming the ship God. But you have to consider the knowledge of the predecessors. And that is learned from your senior comrades. The elders remember things. There's such a term here, and it's called ciparoni. It's somebody who has gotten away from the business, but is a very respected person. This person had certain ranks on the ship. This person is an elderly person, around 50 years old, and he's somebody who knows people. That is a ciparoni. My friend, the owner of a hotel here, he explained to me that the most important person is the grandfather, because he knows all the stories and knows how to not allow unwanted things to happen. But how to do something, that you have to figure out on your own. The grandfather explains to you how not to make a mistake and what you should consider before doing something. And now we have conditions, but that's not enough. Now you need abilities. Here in Sicily, any tradesman has to always be ready for war 100%. And to become a captain, you have to go through a war. And here you will be pushed into this war whether you want it or not. When you're at war and you make a mistake, that's going to cost you your life. To stay alive and to win, you need tactics and strategy. When a person replaces money instead of knowledge and power instead of abilities, he becomes an idiot. Our goal is to understand that without tactics and strategy, triumph is impossible. I have been asked, what is tactics and strategy? So tactics is a way you're going to do something. Strategy is the end result and understanding what we have. Strategy is that from what comes strength. Based on this, what we have is a person who doesn't have a doctrine, who doesn't have strategy, concepts. Nothing is going to work. The strongest mechanism that exists in this world is the mechanism of doctrine. Why do we think so? Well, we talked about it many times, and here in Sicily, you can see it with your physical vision. The thing is that people think that the most expensive, the most valuable thing that they have is their life. But in Sicily, they don't think that way. Here, the price for a human life is a couple of cents. Your life becomes only valuable then when you have become something. And that's the trick. If you don't have a doctrine, when you don't have a doctrine, you get bigger and bigger, you get more land, more churches, you get more physical things, and that makes you weak because you're afraid to lose it. The doctrine is a safety mechanism that does not allow a person to get weak. If a person chose a doctrine for himself and he believes that it's the truth, then a human life, well, it's not really worth anything to him. His life is not worth anything. What's important to him is what is now and what will be. Sicily, they believe that it's better to die in a one-on-one fight than to live as that wet chicken that is incapable of anything. When we say a strategy conception comes from the doctrine, that is the right understanding of this world. Our doctrine is postament. For the Sicilian, their doctrine is practice of that second religion. And their strategy comes from all of the knowledge of their elders. So knowledge gives birth to strategy. When we say money and power, that's equal to knowledge and abilities. So abilities is power and money is knowledge. When a person exchanges money for knowledge and abilities for power, he becomes an idiot. But when a person has knowledge and abilities, he becomes very rich and very influential. But he doesn't do it all to become rich and successful. He does it because he took responsibility to keep order in a certain land. And the one that was able to become that Sicilian triumph, and what do we have when we say that? It's somebody who was able to become part of the ship God, or to become the Don, the head of the family. Because the one who became the Don, he must watch after the order, and to keep everything so that others can also become Dons. So how do they teach tactics here? In the base of the tactics lies the Sicilian warrior system. You ask, why is it like that? You probably never even heard of it. Well, you're right, because it's secret. When I discovered it, as you remember, when I drew the cobra, their tactics is the tactics of that snake. Now let's look at their hand-to-hand combat. It's also like a snake. All the punches are kind of twisted in. As you remember, I made videos and I showed you how it's done. All the punches are twisted in like a snake does. They always higher and lower their body. Very often they attack the growing area, the legs, the stomach, and using a knife also. Their tactics is from the bottom up, working from the bottom going up. And this kind of system gives us the strategy. You know, if you pretend like you're nobody and that you're just, you know, you're nothing, and then just go ahead and strangle everybody around. Remember the Godfather when he pretended that he's getting out of the business, and then one day he killed everybody. So that is the tactics that they have here. It's kind of like a strike on a compressed spring, like a snake compresses and springs out. And this is why in Sicily their warrior system is kept secret, but Sicily is not the only place that everything is like this. The same thing we have in Japan. We have samurais that keep their warrior system secret. Here the families keep it secret. And to get access to this secret information, you have to somehow become part of the family. And that's how you have 4 types of people that we end up with. The first type is people that have just entered into the family. They want to show to the family that they are going to be somebody, so that they're left in the family. But those type of people are incapable and they don't know anything. Those people can do only the simple tasks. They kind of turn themselves into the end of the spear. And this always has its drawbacks. And of course, after that action, he's going to be hidden away somewhere, hiding from the law. And while he's hiding from the law, the second part of his being is going to be kind of formed, and that is patience. In Sicilian tactics, patience is very important. The second type of people are people of a higher level. They professionally study the warrior system. Here they're called professional soldiers, and they solve the problems that are constantly flowing. They are organized in groups, and they're very well prepared, and they can work. They're just as good at business as they are at war. The third level is their commanders. The third level are people who are able to control those groups of professional soldiers. The next level are people that are intellectual people. People who are able to plan strategy, plan tactics, and strategy concepts. Those are the consultants. And of course, the head of the snake is the Don. It's the person who is in charge of the ship. Inside the family, there are such conditions that allow a person to solve problems of any difficult level. So any Sicilian understands that he is just one, and nobody is going to do anything to help him or for him. So he understands he needs somebody to consult with in order to make the right choices. For that, he has special people that he goes to. That's the consultation level. And then there's people like the old grandpas, the ciparoni, that they go to and they describe to them and draw for them the strategy concepts. The level that is the soldier level, there a person has to train himself. You know, if you remember in the beginning how we spoke about when he becomes a child and he has to look around everywhere so people don't pour water on him. So he trains himself from day-to-day life, you know, with weapons and hand-to-hand fighting also. And you know, on this level, strength is something that's very important. And that's when the elders become available to help him and to teach him some tricks. And then the simple task, as you remember, you know, he does that simple action and then he has to go away and hide. So when we say about tactics and strategy, they have all the conditions here that allow a person to fulfill everything. But where does that tactics and strategy come from? Who decides on it? The doctrine, it frees a person from fear, it frees a person from pain, from the future. It's the most powerful machine that exists. So from here we can make a conclusion. If this machine of doctrine has been constructed using constructors that know what they're doing, and it answers to the criteria of Erpetaka 1 Arastu, which says it's useful in any situation, it works, it brings good to this world, and it can be proven. And the doctrine itself actually is the Erpetaka Rastrup that me and you guys have been learning about. And in this case, a person becomes stronger than the strongest person out there because he has the need to solve tasks. He has the need for tactics and strategy. He gets the need for knowledge and for his abilities to grow. And at this point, he realizes that he has to watch out so that money doesn't replace knowledge, and power didn't replace the abilities. And all of this needs changing. A person that wants to reach triumph, he has to be ready for all this. And he must know exactly how he's going to do it all. My mentor, Polish, said that a person changes himself using 4 steps. First step is classification. Then he needs the tactics. And then he needs the tools that are going to allow to fulfill that tactic. And at the end, you get the transformed person. So that is the algorithm of change that a person puts inside himself. And if you look here in Sicily, everything is built based on this algorithm. So look, the classification is given to you by the consultants. Then we go a level lower, and the commanders, they give you tactics. Then we go down to the soldiers, and those teach you mechanisms and tricks. This is the only way a person becomes part of the family and starts his way to the triumph. The interesting thing is, the Sicilian way is exactly the same as in Venice, which one of our next films is going to be about. The Venice system that lies in the base of the Sicilian system, it's identical. My mentor taught to me the same exact things. So the conditions are different, but the system is exactly the same. Of course, you by yourself can become somebody, but if you need a command that's gonna be on the ship with you, you need to have a garden, because when you have one tree standing by itself, they usually chop that tree down. But a garden, a whole garden, is usually protected by someone. If you remember, before we came here, we were in the garden of pomegranates, and that is a symbol of what I'm talking about, and that's here in Sicily. The conditions of a garden, the rules and regulations that exist there, that is the second religion of Sicily. And it's the base of the tactics and strategy that allow a person to become a triumph. So whether the person is going to reach the top of the mountain or not, it depends on the soil that he's planted into. If you look at Europe and Sicily, they're on the same continent, but the soil is different and the results are different. A Sicilian is different. He doesn't want for somebody to do anything for him. He wants to do it all himself. Do we have people like that in Europe? Well, yes, of course. If we didn't have people like that, then we wouldn't have Freud or Jung or the Einstein that you know. There wouldn't be the scientists, because Germany and Austria are keepers of the mathematics, philosophy. So of course those type of people did exist. They wanted to do everything themselves. But it disappeared. And where did it go? Here in Sicily, it didn't go anywhere, as you can see. Keeping all that in mind, there's still a condition that you need to follow to come to the top of the mountain. If we don't structure our life so that day to day we're able to learn tactics and strategy from a day-to-day life, then triumph is impossible. We wanted to start and go through the whole technology of triumph from A to the dawn. In Sicily, the most important thing is mechanisms of task fulfillment and the conditions that a person is raised in. You can become the Don of Palermo, you don't have to be Don of Corleone. So when we speak about the base of tactics, tactics can be two types of tactics. You know, for a person, before he does something, he needs to understand how that something needs to be done or how it's done. If we have that system of consultants and elders, then I would be faster than others to understanding how to do something. And there's no recipes for success. There are principles, mechanisms, and tricks. But the thing is that you're fully responsible as into how you're going to use all of that. So you kind of turn yourself into a research structure. So you have to kind of research all this from day-to-day life to understand what is going to be better for you. Because something that works for one person doesn't always work for the next. So again, where do we get those principles and those tricks? So if we don't have that system in place of the mentors, the elders, the soldiers, and commanders, then there's no one we can get those mechanisms from. If you don't have Ciparoni, you don't have knowledge. In that case, life becomes a chase after power and money. Life without doctrine means life without principles, strategy, and tactics. So where do we get the principles? In doctrine, right? If you're given a doctrine, then you already have all the principles. Where do we get the mechanisms of task solving? The commanders. Because that's why they're commanders of the ships, because they know of the mechanisms of task solving more than anybody else. The soldiers explain how to work with certain tools, and that's how the system is put into place. So the consultants have the principles. The commanders have the mechanisms that solve problems. Soldiers teach you how to work with certain tools. So if I don't have all of this in my life, then there's nothing I'm going to be able to reach. This system is kept stable until the people stay on the levels that are equal to their level of preparation. In order to constantly keep growing up in the system, every single person in the system has to have access to the most effective machines of tactics. A person must have a full diapason system in their system of tactics, because that's the strongest system of tactics. And here's the symbol of it on the left, as you can see. Here are 4 things that can happen. That's why, by looking at this, we can understand that the commanders are the high-ranking here, because they have the machine of tactics. They have the systems that solve problems. This brings us to the conclusion that the most important are the conditions and the machines that solve problems. So in the beginning I described all the things that are needed, and now we're going to start and go through the whole system. Go from the start to the end and become that Don. Don of Corleone. Well, we can become a Don of Palermo, it doesn't have to be Corleone. During wartime, a person learns very quickly. He becomes a soldier, and then he becomes a commander, and after that he becomes the Don. So let's look how to start. How does a regular person start? There are two states of being, either in war or in peace. Before, the easiest way was to be raised in certain conditions and then go ahead and sail on your way. So war, that's the easiest way to start.
At war, a person learns really fast.
So being at war, plus the death that's always following you around, a person learns really fast. When a person enters the family, first thing he has to do is learn how to walk. So what does that mean, to learn to walk? To learn to walk means to learn how to use this system. The system that will bring you to reach the top. If you remember, on the first step, a person has to be ready to do things. So he comes as some kind of an underhand and then becomes the soldier. Then he becomes the consultant, and after that, the Don. At war, the rise of the vertical hierarchy happens fast for a person. In times of peace, it's kind of harder. You either have to become part of a family, or you have to teach yourself to become the ship god. Most Sicilians think that the best way is to become part of the family and then rise yourself up by the hierarchy. If he enters a family that has this hierarchy, then to a certain age, he becomes self-efficient. He learns to walk, then he learns how to be coordinated. We're going to talk separately about coordination. He learns really fast, and he gets the needed skills really fast to show everybody that he by himself can reach good results. When we're talking about the Sicilian way, when they're learning how to walk, they're learning how to use this system. So as you guys can see all over the place, you see this three-stage system that's all over Sicily. In front of the Norman castle, you'll see this ship god symbol. The fountain of shame is also a three-level system. That fountain symbolizes that system of commanders, soldiers, and consultants. As soon as you're part of that system and you're able to use any level to teach yourself, very soon you become a person that is capable and able to walk. You become somebody who can make decisions on his own and reach results on his own. This type of person starts to attract other people. Then he formulates a certain group, and then you get the ship god. And only after this you construct the ship or the family or any other system that a captain is the head of. The hierarchy of that ship allows a person from the bottom to become the captain of the ship. System that teaches, system that is your own, and system that makes changes. And that is the Sicilian triumph. If you don't have those things, then triumph is impossible. If you do have them, then it's unquestionable.
That's what professional boxing is about. You gotta be clever, you gotta be smart, and not get hit. It's what he does that makes him a hero, and what the other fellow doesn't do that makes him a coward. It's just as simple. You could hit him, he can't hit you. That's what the science of boxing is all about.
Greetings everybody, I welcome you in our online international marathon, which is dedicated to the memory of brilliant and outstanding coach Kasa D'Amato. And today as our guest we have Antonio Graceffo. He was born in Italy and was a former professional boxer. Greetings Antonio, we are on air and we can start. Could you please tell about your approach to boxing and what do you personally admire about Kasa D'Amato?
So I started boxing when I was 12 years old, and in the 70s that was the martial arts at the time. The kickboxing had just started, and what was happening was whenever they would have fights where they had boxers versus martial artists or kickboxers versus martial artists, basically the better boxer won. The people who had actual boxing training were beating all of the kickboxers at that time and martial artists at that time. So I learned very early to love boxing, and I'm from an Italian family, so I grew up with Rocky Marciano was one of my huge heroes growing up. The Rocky movies obviously had a huge influence on me. So I just grew up absolutely loving boxing and believing that boxing was the ultimate martial art, the best martial art, and I continued with that belief until the 1990s when MMA suddenly came and grappling became the dominant martial art. But for the first half of my life, boxing was the dominant martial art. So in the old days, you know, let's say through the 1950s and 60s, upstate New York, Catskill, New York was kind of a big place for boxing. First of all, boxing, New York City was the boxing capital of the United States until Las Vegas began putting on the really big events. But Madison Square Garden, New York City, that was the place for boxing. There's a number of very famous gyms in New York City. And then up in Catskill, New York is where all of the, like Rocky Marciano, all those guys had their training camps were in upstate New York. And so Kasa D'Amato was sort of one of the last guys from that old era. You know, he was quite old, obviously, when he died, when he was training Mike Tyson. But I always loved him because he took me back to that era. That, you know, because boxing in America has basically, there's two golden ages of boxing, you know, because the Muhammad Ali era is also the golden age of boxing, but the one before that is sort of the one in the 50s, and Kasa D'Amato belonged to that era, so that's what I always loved about him. And as a man, he was just a very old school, humble, simple, you know, the old values, which I really respect and love about boxing.
So, Antonio, can you please tell what are the qualities that you admire about Kasa?
So, one of the anomalies about Kasa D'Amato that I love is that he never really boxed. He himself was never really a boxer, and I absolutely love that for so many reasons, because without a doubt, I don't believe that being a champion or being a good fighter means you're a good coach. And consequently, there are people that, you know, have never been champions, and in Kasa's case, he never even boxed, and yet he was a great coach, and I love that. And I think that's something that people have forgotten, and they've gotten away from. And I think that, MMA dominates the fight world today, and that's one of the only things I don't like about MMA. I often hear people say, I won't train with someone who I can beat. And I think, well, then you can't train with anybody who's 70 years old. Then you can't train with anybody that has these years and years and years of experience. And I think about people like Kasa D'Amато. But there's others. There are a few other really great boxing coaches who never boxed. I don't know that Angelo Dundee had any significant boxing background. I mean, as a fighter. But anyway, I love that about Kasa D'Amato. I love just the old, everything about him. It's the old school. He lived in a wooden house in upstate New York. They ate vegetables and meat, and they ran outdoors, and just it was just very simple. The old style of boxing.
Thank you. Antonio, how do you think, what stands behind this unique ability of Kas to choose a student, a simple guy, a delinquent, if we are speaking about Tyson, and nurturing him into a world champion?
Well, I think that Kas, I think Kas was great. I do believe Kas was great, but I also believe that when we have great results in life, it very often is because the right two people met at exactly the right time and the right circumstances. And I don't know that it's that Kas had a particular ability to choose champions. Tyson was in kind of a reformatory for young kids. There was a boxing coach there, one of the guards, one of the trainers, whatever, who was kind of a boxing coach, and he would teach the other boys to box. And suddenly Tyson, at age, I think 14 or 12 or something like this. First of all, he was like 200 pounds when he was like 12 or 13 or 14 years old. Yeah. And he was, knocking out the trainers. And so the trainer had been a student of Kas or had known Kas, and he called Kas and said, "Hey, look, I got this kid I want you to take a look at." So I think that there's a lot of sort of serendipity that goes into this. It's not that Kas looked at thousands of boys and he picked Tyson. Somebody called him and said, "I think you need to look at this kid." But Tyson was a physical phenomenon. Tyson was not normal. I mean, like I said, I believe he was a heavyweight when he was 14 already. Mm-hmm. I think, though, that what we would give Kas a lot of credit for is that Tyson hadn't even been to school. I mean, he'd been in and out of school. He'd been kicked out of school. So Tyson was not someone who could easily take advice or take lessons or listen to a teacher. And I think that Kas figured a way or found a way to communicate with Tyson. And I think that that's what made Tyson great. That's what made Kas great. That's what made the relationship great. I'm always remembered of, Angelo Dundee said that the reason he was so successful training Muhammad Ali was because he figured out how to communicate with Ali. And he said that he would never, if he wanted Ali to lift his back heel, he never said to Ali, "I want you to lift your back heel," because then Ali wouldn't do it. So he would say to Ali, "Oh, I was watching you box and you're lifting your back heel very nicely." And then whenever he complimented, Ali would do that more. And that's how he'd get him to do it. And he said that, like if you ever gave Ali advice or told him, he just wouldn't listen. And I'm sure, I would have to believe Tyson was the same way. I'm sure Tyson was not the kind of person that took advice very well. So I think that was the thing. And I think, too, that Kas was, obviously Tyson needed a father figure. Kas probably filled that role. And I think Kas being so old when he was training Tyson, there was probably, there was no competition between them. I don't think Tyson, if the trainer had been 40 years old or 35 years old and it all fit, maybe Tyson would have felt like he had to compete with that trainer, or he had to outdo him, or he had to beat him. But, when you have an old man coming in and training, you don't feel the need to knock him out or to show him up. And I think that may have worked. Because Kas was so old, he wasn't threatening to Tyson, and then it was easier for them to have that relationship.
How do you think, where from did Kas know how to create world champions?
Well, I think that Kas didn't come from as bad of a background on this fight, but he understood the streets. I mean, Kas understood the streets. He understood being from an immigrant family. He understood not being rich, not having everything. So I think he was definitely able to relate to Tyson on that sort of level. Plus, again, Cus finds him at the end of Cus's, literally the very end of Cus's career, because he dies while Mike is a contender, right? Before Mike won the championship. Yes. So that means he had a lifetime of experience. It was a long lifetime, a lot of experience. He'd had a lot of fighters, and he took that lifetime of experience, and it helped him to. It basically culminated with this one fighter.
Thank you, Antonio. So when we're speaking about Cus, so we see like 3 exact, like consequent results, 3 world champions, right? Jose Torres, Patterson, and Tyson. So do you think this can be called a coincidence? Or is it the result of thorough, logical, intellectual work?
No, I don't think it's coincidence at all. Obviously great trainers have great fighters. Angelo Dundee had multiple, world championships as well. What's his name? Delagrati, and who's the one that's so famous? The one that works with Manny Pacquiao. What's his name? But these guys have, most of them wind up having multiple championships by the end, and it's just because they've honed their skills to that point. They're able to deal, they know how to deal with different kinds of fighters. Look at Jose Torres, and Jose Torres is a very different human being than Mike Tyson. That's just a different kind of fighter. That's the part that always amazes me, is that these great trainers, Kasa D'Amato, Angelo Dundee, whatever, they not only have multiple championships, but they're in different weight categories. That amazes me. You have a Mike Tyson in the heavyweight division. He is just powerful, and then you got a Jose Torres. That's I'm not sure what his weight division was, but he's much smaller, and that's amazing to me that they're able to coach multiple guys in multiple weight categories and very different. The first major book about Tyson, I believe it's called like Fire and Blood, and Jose Torres is the author. Mm-hmm. So this is a guy who's smart enough to write books, and he writes articles and things like that. It's a very different character than most of the boxers that Cus probably dealt with, which meant Cus probably had to find a way to communicate with Jose Torres, and he had to find a way to communicate with Mike Tyson. So no, I don't think it's luck or coincidence. I think it's skill.
Antonio, when we're speaking about the offspring, if I can say so, of Kasa D'Amato, the peekaboo style, like Tom Paddy, his student, and other people that knew Cus, they consider the style to be even mystical, enigmatic style. So what do you think about peekaboo's origins?
Well, yeah, okay, so the peekaboo is interesting because it's actually an old style, and then, it's one of those styles that, let's say it's a classic style, and then it periodically dies for like 10, 20 years, nobody does it, and then suddenly somebody comes along and does it. So Archie Moore used the peekaboo style. And in Ali's second career, we could say that he was using something similar to the peekaboo style. Second career, meaning after he made his comeback after he'd had his license pulled. So the peekaboo style, it goes in and out of fashion. I think it depends a lot on, obviously, the trainer that wants to teach it, and then it has to be right for that particular fighter. So for Tyson, one of the weird anomalies about Tyson is that Tyson had asthma, and he couldn't move. He was incapable of moving the way that Ali did, in his first career. And of course, Ali is unusual in how he moved. There's never been a heavyweight that moved like that. But just the point being, Tyson couldn't even move as much as most heavyweights, and he knew that. And he said, I had to finish my fights quickly because I had asthma and I would get out of breath. That's madness to go all the way to the World Championship saying, I have to get my fights out of the way because I'll get out of breath. And so the peekaboo style works really well for a man that has that limitation of movement, right? And then Tyson was phenomenally strong, just so powerful, and especially with the short punches, close-in punches, which again, when you use peekaboo, the advantage is that you're going to take less hits, The disadvantage is you're going to lose range, you're going to lose distance, and you're probably going to lose speed. And so it definitely suits a more powerful fighter. Because think about this, if Tyson were not so powerful and he were trying to win on points, he would probably never get off enough punches to be able to win on points coming out of that peekaboo stance. So what's interesting for me is that in MMA, you know, because now I just fight MMA. I mean, I haven't had a boxing fight well, I had one maybe 5 years ago, but I haven't had like real professional boxing fight in like 20 years. No, not that many, maybe 15. But you know, so I just fight MMA now. But for MMA, we use you know, it's called center shield, but it's very similar to peekaboo. It's the same concept, and this idea that it's absolute defense, but then it slows down your offense, and it reduces your range. And so we see in MMA almost a rebirth of the peekaboo again. But Archie Moore was famous for that. And when Ali was in his first career, they tried to bring Archie Moore in as a trainer for Ali, and they absolutely hated each other and they didn't get along. And one of the things was probably stylistically they just didn't work, because Archie Moore was peekaboo style and Ali in his first career was not. So I think the peekaboo style worked for Tyson. So again, why did Tyson become a champion? Why was Kasa D'Amato able to make a champion? And they met on the right day at the right time. And if Tyson had met any other trainer, they would have said to him, "Oh, we want you to use movement and length and distance and you know, throw more shots per minute and all that," which Tyson couldn't have done, and he probably would have wound up being a contender. Whereas because he had Kasa D'Amato telling him use the peekaboo style, and that suited him perfectly, and so that's how he became a champion.
As you know, Kas was in litigation he was suing with IBS, International Boxing Club, for 11 years. So how do you think one man, Kasa D'Amato, could have resisted whole boxing association?
Well, you know, if you read Fire and Blood, I believe that's the name of the book, right? The Jose Torres book. But if you read his book and a few of the others, you find out, I mean, Kus had close friends. You know, he'd been in the game a long time. A lot of people knew him. A lot of people liked him. He had some other champions. He had some other near champions. Some of his students had gone on to, you know, maybe they left boxing and they had professional jobs or whatever. So he definitely had people in his life who helped him with various things. And so when he was in his legal battles and things like that, he had good people around him that gave him advice. And I think that if you compare Kasa D'Amato to Don King, right? Probably you've never heard anybody say those two names in the same sentence.
No, never.
When you compare them, you'll see someone like Don King. He has, you know, millions and tens of millions of dollars, but I don't think there's anyone on this earth that actually likes him. So he would hire all the best lawyers, you know, and that sort of thing. Whereas Kus, it would be kind of you know, do it yourself, build your legal team in your living room. They probably met in his living room or in his kitchen, and you know, he probably had dinner with the fighters in his kitchen. You know, the kids that were living with him and that. And yeah, he just pieced it together. But it was a labor of love. It was people who loved him and supported him and liked him, and they helped him through these legal struggles.
Maybe you know some facts which were not publicly discussed but did happen in the environment of boxing.
Well, something I would really like to say. It's really important to me to say this. Everybody talks about how powerful Mike Tyson was, and he could knock down a building with each hand, and that's absolutely true, and I'm not going to take away from that. However, the media portrayed him as this brute, and he's just strong, and he knocks people down. If you watch Mike Tyson fight, during the Kasa D'Amato era, when Kus was training him, Mike Tyson was one of the most technically correct boxers probably in the history of boxing, and he will never get the recognition for that. Mike Tyson was so perfect in his technique, and this is why he was knocking people out. Because I don't care how strong you are, you have to throw your punches perfectly to get the knockout. You don't get it on strength alone. You know, one of the few fighters in history that maybe you could say did it just on strength was the first Italian American champion. He had absolutely no boxing training at all, but he was like 6'8" and 300 pounds at some ridiculous size, and he knocked out a lot of guys. But for the most part, you know, you only knock people out if you're doing it right. And if you watch Tyson, he was technically perfect, which again is something I like about Kasa D'Amato and why I like that old era of boxers, because they absolutely believe fundamentals. And so that's something I think is so important that we need to, in any discussion of Kasa or Tyson, please, we always need to remember this guy was technically perfect. And then when we go from the Kasa D'Amato era to the Don King era of Mike Tyson's career, he stops training at that level. He stops having the fundamentals. He doesn't have anybody looking after his fundamentals anymore. They're feeding the media. They're feeding Mike Tyson's head. You're so powerful. You're not good at building down with either hand. And then what does he do? He loses his technical edge, and then he loses his title.
After the death of Kas, like everything went so wrong in Mike's life, like everything.
Yeah. And without a doubt, I mean, there's a lot going on there, and a lot of it is psychological, and a lot of it he's probably partying. But even that, like the old school, right? Kas, I'm sure, even when Mike was making, well, first of all, we know when Mike was making money but living with Kas, he lived with Kas. He came home every night, he slept there. And I know he would go to New York City and see his family, and probably his friends, and he probably was drinking and using drugs and whatever when he was in New York City, but he was living upstate New York with Kas most of the time, and especially when he was training. So he was living old school. He was, you know, probably going to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever. And I'm sure that once he was living with Don King, or under Don King's, you know, rule, that wasn't happening anymore. I'm sure that he was out. He was doing whatever he wanted, out every night, you know. And so that's something else I like about the old school guys, you know. And you know, I always talk about how much I love Rocky Marciano. Same thing, Rocky Marciano, you know, in bed, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock every night. Also trained 12 months out of the year, you know, instead of taking off in between fights. So when Tyson was living with Kas, I would assume he was training, I'm fairly certain he was training constantly. Whereas when he was living on his own later under Don King, I'm sure that between fights he was taking off from training.
Antonio, so now coming to a very, I don't know, mystical part, let's say. So there are a lot of people telling that there were exact cases that actually demonstrated that Kas possessed some, if you wish, superhuman abilities, something not normal, not for average people. So what do you think? I mean, what is it?
Well, I think any good coach, when you, okay, so you can be a good coach, right? You can be a good coach and someone else could be a good student, but you're not perfectly in tune. So what happens is you go through life, you have different coaches, and then eventually, hopefully you find that one that you're in tune with and you're perfect with. And like my coach, my MMA coach, when I'm in the corner, whenever I was in the corner in between rounds, we didn't even talk. We didn't even talk to each other. And then as the bell rang and I would go back out to fight, he would say to me, okay, keep with the plan. And there was no plan, but we were so in tune mentally that I knew what he wanted me to do and I was doing it. And he knew what he wanted me to do and I was doing it. We didn't need to say anything. And he was never this coach that like shouted instructions to me. It was like this telepathic bond. And I would have to believe that that, you know, Tyson and Kas had that, and probably even more, you know, on some other level. But like Ali, for example, a lot of people don't know his younger brother was a very gifted boxer as well, and also a professional heavyweight, and probably could have been a contender if the older brother hadn't become, you know, so famous, and then they just dedicated all their resources to Ali. But they said that when his younger brother was fighting, Ali was sitting in the stadium, and he was mouthing the commands, you know, jab, left hook, duck, whatever. He was mouthing that. He wasn't shouting it. He was mouthing it. And his brother was doing exactly what he was saying.
Wow. I haven't heard about this story.
Yeah, and even I've heard of cases where the coach, like for example, Kasa D'Amato was ill and couldn't go, like when Tyson fought in the Junior Olympics. And Kasa D'Amato couldn't be there.
Yes.
And people that were in the room with him said that he was calling the duck, left, right, whatever the combinations were. And Tyson was literally doing that on the other side of the planet. So I think this is just something that happens between, it's not just a good coach and a good student, it's the perfect one. It's sort of like when you get married and it's like the perfect soulmate and you wind up staying married forever. It's like that.
Thank you very much, Antonio. It was a pleasure to speak with you about greatest Kasa D'Amato.
That's what professional boxing is. You gotta be clever, you gotta be smart, and not get hit. It's what he does that makes him a hero, and what the other fellow doesn't do that makes him a cow. It's just as simple. You could hit him, he can't hit you. That's what the science of boxing is all.
Talk to me, Cus, about how you feel about Mike.
What do you mean how I feel about Mike?
Well,
in one sentence, one paragraph, or one
paragraph.
chapter?
As like a father's son, how do you feel about
Well, that's your expression, it's not mine.
Okay, well, how do you feel about him? He lives in your house.
Hmm?
Doesn't he live with you? Hasn't he lived with you for the last 2 years?
Oh, yes. Well, where do you want me to begin?
Wherever you want to begin. How do you feel about him as a kid? How does?
Well, first, when he first came, things were rather difficult because there was a lack of communication, and I think that he was a little apprehensive and just a little bit concerned that we wouldn't get along. I was a much older person, he was a much younger person. Not only that, he was accustomed to being in the company of different types of people. And as a result, he didn't know how I would accept or be receptive to him because of that. Of course, I paid no attention to that because as far as I was concerned, he was coming there to be helped in every way. And as a fighter particularly. But in order to be helped as a fighter, he had to be helped in every other way. His character had to be developed and strengthened. He had to learn discipline, and he had to learn, of course, to face his problems and not avoid them, which is an essential part of the character of any competitive athlete. The strengthening of character has been a slow process because the rules that he's learned to live by, had learned to live by, were not those generally accepted by society. It was a dog-eat-dog affair. See? Now he understands the situation more clearly in a more adult way. And as of now, he's developed a kind of personality I find very likable, and I admire him very much for many things. I admire him for what he's accomplished, not in the ring, what he's accomplished with himself, which in itself is an achievement, because having come from where he was to what he is, I think that he has now become a very likable person. I feel that he's learned modesty, and I mean real modesty. I think he's also learned that he can do what he has to do, no matter how he feels within, or whatever is best to do for himself and all people concerned.
So you consider you two guys? You consider you two guys the odd couple?
The odd couple? I don't know just what you mean by that. I know he's a young boy who came to me for help, and I'm giving him this help. If that constitutes an odd couple, then we're an odd couple. But he is only one of a number of people in the house. I mean by that, there are other people there for the same purpose as he is. It's just that he has made far more progress in a far shorter time than the others have. And as a result of his performance in the ring, he has naturally drawn a great deal of attention. After all, he did twice win the junior national championship and won every fight by knockout, which of course is an accomplishment of no little merit. You know, he's really accomplished something there. And I believe that considering what he's done at such a young age, one would expect to be more egotistical. I mean, he'd be strutting like a rooster, but he isn't. I mean, he's learned to take it in a stride, which tells me a lot about how much progress he's made. Because there are many people who, had they accomplished what he has accomplished in this short time, would have made themselves somewhat bored. So they consider him a valuable light. Yeah. Where's the red? Don't stand in front of the light.
Give one round because I don't even know why you got
I can't arrange. This ain't boxing here. You can't arrange. This is not an act. This is not an act. You want him to stay here. I can stay there, but not them. I mean, this is not an act. Time. Move your head.
Strong boy, Gus. Strong boy.
What did he say? Oh. What did he say?
Strong boy.
Oh. I told you that.
Keep your hands where they belong, Mike.
Hands up, move your head. Move your head. Both hands.
Use your left hand. Flip it in.
Hands up when you pull out. Stay close to him so he can't uppercut. Don't hold his head there, Jim.
It's on the table.
Huh?
Cut it off there.
Oh yeah, well, because he doesn't want any more than one round. If I hadn't told you, it might have been taken by surprise. Totally can fight. He knows what it's about. Move your head. Move your head. Move your head, Mike. Move your head. Jab and slip, slip and jab. Both hands when you get inside. Jab and slip. Both hands. When you make a miss, count it.
No punch on the break. See that? Tell me something, Gus.
What do you say? Move your head.
Ain't good to you. Ain't good to you. Ain't good to you.
Work that body,
Bring your left hand up on the inside too, Mike. Both hands quicker when you're loose. Jab and slip, slip and jab. Jab and slip, slip and jab. Both hands when they get in there, Mike. Both hands.
Don't bring it. Don't bring it.
Both hands.
Bring it.
All right, watch it. Time. Yeah. Come here.
Brave boy. Tough.
Huh?
Tough.
And give him an 8 in the right hand. Try to get to the side when you're close. One other thing, come here, Mike. One other thing. When you're in close like this, see, we had you like this. You know what you're supposed to do with your right hand? Bring it underneath. Swing it like this here. That's right. What the same with the left. See, when he has it like that, bring it up underneath, the same way. Go ahead, all right.
Just mount it up.
He's a little smart too.
Can we shoot this?
Huh?
Can we shoot this?
That's up to you. Not me. Hold hands when you get inside, Mike. Remember, in the amateurs, you score points that way.
We'll fight like crazy.
What do you say?
Fights like crazy.
Huh?
He says he fights like crazy. Crazy. Dig out of it, Mike. Take that.
Bring him back up, Gus.
Left hand.
Both hands when you get in there. Don't just lie there, Mike.
That's it. Work it.
You got to score points when you get inside. So score points when you're doing the amateurs. And spring to the side. Don't hold his head, Jim.
Off to a kidney shot.
Both hands every time you get in there. Jab and slip. Both hands on the inside, Mike.
Make it fight, Gus.
Jab.
Put that ring down. Use that speed.
8.
Body with that right hand.
See that, Gus?
8.
I need to shoot right there.
8. Both hands to the body.
I see you knocked out, Jim.
Both hands to the body. All right, time. That's real good with a seasoned veteran like that. I do think you should not have no medical one, you know.
Hurt me.
True.
Let me knock out artists.
Huh? Well, but everybody else here. They only say you're strong, but they don't know how smart you are. But if you weren't smart, you would have got hit more. At least a more vulnerable area.
Let's go, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, Gus.
All right, Don. Hey, Don. I'll give you the ring as to the time. You're moving, I can't. Huh? You're moving, I can't find the...
I didn't do so hot today.
That's your good.
No, I know when I do good.
Well, keep nothing.
Every punch. Good knockout artist. Show off. Pop off good up, maybe. Huh? Pop off good from the show? Yeah. Good enough. See, you knockout artist. You're going to get better, and he's not, Mike.
Huh?
Right. I said Mike's going to get better, and he's not.
Oh, that's right.
In a week's time, you know.
I know all that, sure.
You look good. Gus, see you, buddy.
Okay.
From Blackpool, England, weighing 208 pounds.
So now the moment of truth is not far off. This will be the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. And look at young Mike Tyson, age 20 years old. He could go into the record books tonight as one of the very youngest heavyweight champions of all time. If he can capture the title from the reigning champ, Trevor Berbick. Kevin Rooney with him. He's trained in the Catskills for the last 4 weeks. And he came to Vegas to handle a little bit of publicity. He doesn't like that, as you know. He likes to do his business in the place he's going right now. Rooney leads him to the ring for his first shot at the heavyweight championship of the world. This is what Mike Tyson has trained his whole life for. This is what Kasa D'Amато and Jimmy Jacobs trained this man for. There's the record. Mike Tyson, the #1 ranked heavyweight contender in the world. 27-0, 25 knockouts. Tremendous power, tremendous speed of foot. Very well trained by this man, Kevin Rooney. He has total focus for this
Patterson,
fight.
182 1/4.
And when he takes that
London
cutout
208.
towel off his shoulders,
Differential in
you'll
weight.
see exactly what I'm talking about. This is how they got here. Witherspoon beat Bruno. Witherspoon and Tubbs will do battle for the WBA title, and one of them will move on. Thomas and Berbick fought. Berbick wins the WBC title, and now he fights Tyson. And Spinks and Holmes did battle. And then Spinks beat Stephen Tankstad. So here is Mike Tyson. You saw the promoter, Don King, in the background. 25 of 27 professional bouts have ended in a knockout. And most
Evidently, if he
people
can
think
get this
that
fight
will
over in the
too.
first round, he'll do it.
President Jose
He is
Sullivan
really
of the
out.
WBC
He's stopping
looks
fast.
on. This could be the man that the WBC will be promoting for a long time. Well, if I have to talk about the tip of the night, I'd say look out for the uppercut. As you see Tyson bang to the body. Ooh, what a shot with that right hand. Wow, not too many fighters can survive with shots like that. There it is, clear again. The right uppercut, and he can do it with either hand. So for Trevor, you must avoid the uppercut. Look at that, follows it up with a left hook. Does this man have killer instinct? You bet he does.
Patterson seconds ago,
And
the
his
head
Berbick
down.
against
He was
Pinklin
standing upright.
Thomas. Now, if Tyson
And they
has to
wanted him
look
to go
out for
into a
anything,
crouch.
it's that
They
jab.
wanted him to go
Look
into a
what he
crouch.
does to
That's Patterson
Pinklin.
in white,
But
Brian
you can be
London in
sure
black.
that Mike Tyson won't be back on his heels. So, look out for the jab, Mr. Tyson. Mr. Berbick, as you begin to enter into the ring to defend your WBC heavyweight championship that you captured from Pinklin Thomas,
London's
you
left
better
cheek
have a stiff
bone
jab
is swelling.
against Mike Tyson. Tyson is awesome. He's a guy that can slip underneath the jab. This guy is an ordained minister. He calls himself the soldier of the cross.
1 minute to the end of the first round.
He's getting his largest purse ever, $2.1 million for this fight. He's had a little distractions leading up to this fight. He was sued by a Texas boxing promoter just a week ago. Had to get out and testify in court for backing out of the fight. Of course he backed out because he's getting $2.1 for this one. And there's the fellow right behind him, Carl King, son of the promoter Don King, who arranged for him after winning the WBC title to get the $2.1 million. So this is the biggest night in the history of boxing for Trevor Berbick. That man was Angelo Dundee, who handled the likes of Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard, and you can go back to guys like Luis Manuel Rodriguez, the former middleweight champ.
10 seconds to the end of round one.
Fighters. Look at this record. 31-4-1 with 23 KOs for the pride of Miami, Florida, Trevor Berbick.
That's the end of round one.
From the islands originally, living and training in Miami now. Angelo's only been with him for about 2.5 weeks here in Las Vegas. You know, the last fight out, he had Eddie Futch in his corner when he won the title. So that'll be something to look forward to see just how the corners handle Trevor Berbick. Berbick doesn't look nervous, but a lot of fighters don't look too nervous until the first punches are thrown and they feel the power and see the speed of Mike Tyson. Mills Lane, the veteran referee, will be the third man in the ring. So he'll get a fair shake tonight. Both fighters will. Bill's one of the very best. As you look at the tail of the tape, you see that Berbick is 3 inches taller,
determined to knock him out.
12 years older. He has a 7-inch reach advantage, and he's 3 pounds lighter than Tyson. Talking about the weight, Tyson usually comes in around 216, 217. Up a bit for this one, 221 and a half. But according to talking to Mike this week, he wants to be a little bit bigger in this heavyweight division. You take a look at the punch stat here. Average punches by Trevor Berbick against Thomas and Green. And you can see for yourself, he throws a lot of shots. Mike Tyson throws fewer shots, but lands more accurately against Jose Revolta and Mitch Green. But look at the jabs per round. The best puncher Trevor Berbick. Against Thomas, only 15 per round. Landed 7 pretty good ones. Against Green, landed about half. Against
shots to the body and shots to the head were 6, 7 in a row. Almost like a tattoo of blows.
About half of them, Tyson lands. The rules of the WBC, 10-point must-scoring system. No standing 8 count, saved by the bell in the last round only.
Patterson is usually a slow starter, a phlegmatic type, but tonight he's full of fire.
In a moment.
He's really bombing away.
12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Championship of the World. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of Catskill, New York, weighing 221 and 1/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 27 wins, no defeats, 25 KOs. He is the challenger, Mike Tyson. And in the red corner, formerly of Jamaica, now fighting out of Miami, Florida, weighing 218 and 1/2 pounds. His professional record consists of 31 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw,
at least there was
and 23 KOs.
He
is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world.
Let's take a look at Brian London. He's the former British and Empire heavyweight champion. It's the title once held by his father, Jack London, who won it at the age of 31 while a sergeant in the Royal Air Force. He defeated Freddie Mills. This boy was born in Blackpool, England, 5 days after Max Baer stopped Primo Carnera for the same title that he hopes to win tonight. His father was a boxer. He and his brother also boxed as an amateur. He won 85 out of 87. 5 years ago at the British Empire Games at Vancouver, he won the heavyweight title. In March of 55, he turned professional. He won 11 of his first dozen bouts by knockouts, and then in his 13th bout, he faced Henry Cooper, who stopped him and won. It was the same Cooper who beat him in January to win the British heavyweight title, a crown that London had won from Joe Erskine by a knockout last June. In 4 years as a pro, he earned $56,000, which is more than his father earned in 19 years in the ring. Correct name is Brian Harper.
Trevor Berbick. His whole life has been for this night. But Trevor wants to prove that he's one of the great champions. Let's see how long his reign lasts. Mike Tyson kind of feeling him out here, but he goes to that right-hand lead right away.
19 knockouts. Patterson has a 34-1 record.
Is showing a little bravado here. Standing toe-to-toe is not the way. If he doesn't pump that jab in the face, Tyson will come right through him. Tyson with the left, bounces it off the forehead of Trevor. Trevor tries to work underneath. Tyson will have no part of it. Notice the movement of the head of Mike Tyson as he takes a light left jab. Tyson will be able to get underneath it. Wow! With a right, another left hook that just raises. Trevor, with this bravado, could get in some big trouble in a hurry.
This is the 5-point.
He's taking big chances with Tyson, not feeling him out at all. This early going in round 1, a lot better than we thought it might be. Trevor came to fight. But this is exactly what Tyson likes. Notice that Berbick is standing directly in front of him. That is, a left hook that really caught him. That is disaster for all of the opponents of Mike Tyson. He's standing flat-footed right in front of him, and he's going to get clipped. Believe me, folks, he's going down. You can't fight Tyson this way. It's great that he has the courage, but this is a poor fight plan. Oh, the right hand gets him behind the left ear. Berbick tries to push him off, not the way to keep him up. Notice the lazy left. Watch Tyson load up with left and rights. He knows that he can score now. Like Tyson to the right of his screen, shorter, heavier, younger, and bolder than Trevor Berbick. Berbick has felt
Patterson's chin there, and the crowd went over. 1 minute to go to the end of round 3. Patterson's seconds are yelling at him.
Tyson clips him with a right left that time. You get the idea that Mike, as soon as, right hand, but the left hook right there. Notice Tyson throws him in 2s and 3s. Trevor is getting lazy with the left hand. Notice the left hand is not pumping like it was against Pigman Thomas when he won the title. That's a fear factor. He's away from his bravado with the early going of this round. Tyson having a good first round. Wow, with the uppercut, misses the left hook. Tyson is in total command in his head. He knows he can beat this guy right now. Notice Trevor not doing anything right now. He doesn't want to be in here with Tyson. He needs to use his 7 inches in reach, and he can't use it when you're head-to-head like this. Now the left should be pumping. Instead, Tyson will walk right through it.
10 seconds to the end of round 3.
He's wild with the left hook as Berbick, and Tyson clips him with the left hand. Look at this combination, and Berbick ready to go, but he stays on his feet.
That's the end of round 3.
He can't take
well, the crowd here, and it's a very fine crowd and a beautiful night. This weather was so good here today in the 80s, they should have held this night outdoors. They might have held it outdoors if they'd known it was going to be that good. But in the press headquarters at the Harrison, all the boxing writers, without exception, including all the British writers, picked Patterson to win by a knockout with 2 exceptions.
Well, at least Berbick didn't go down in the first round, but he's been staggered. Let's listen into the corner. Notice the replay where Tyson is getting through with the right hand, the left hook. He throws punches in bunches. And I learned that line from Angelo Dundee, who happens to be working with Trevor Berbick. But it's not Berbick who's throwing the bunches of punches. You see him staggered, you see the legs ready to go. Make no mistake, Tyson is in command. This may not go very long because he's got tremendous confidence now. Tyson already on his stool. Here's Trevor Berbick. This is round 2. The WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Trevor Berbick and Mike Tyson. Tyson goes to work right away. And he gets Trevor in trouble. And he's down. He'll have to take the standing 8 count as he steps right up. The counts to 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And he says he's okay. Mills Lane lets them continue. Here comes Tyson again. He knows he can hurt him anytime. Left hook, right hand. Again, Trevor hanging on. But this is a defensive mode now. Trevor not trying to do anything offensively. Tyson has him under control. Left hook, right, walks for the uppercut. There it is. Didn't land, but he has the idea. Wow, with the right hand is Mike. Mike throwing caution to the wind. He's in total command in this fight right now. We're only in round 2, and the heavyweight champ already reeling is Trevor Berbick. You know, Mike Tyson gets fined $5,000 wearing black trunks. He is the challenger here tonight, believe it or not. He looks like the champion right now, and it may not be too long before he wears that belt. Wild on the break, and Mills Lane warns Trevor about it. Trevor trying to do all he can, but what he's not doing is holding off Mike with the left. And you see the light left hook by Mike in the right hand. Mike knows he can hurt him. He had him down once in this round, wants to drop him again in a hurry. Usually what Tyson does is take that little dip, come with the uppercut, and really bang to the body underneath the heart or crush the right side of the rib cage. Instead he goes to the body downstairs, catches him with the right hand upstairs. 2 good rights in there. Caught a bit of a camera switch there, and another right hand landed. See Mike just he's trying to line up that right hand, and he'll be right behind him with a left hook. Mike doesn't throw just one punch. When he gets a guy in real trouble, he usually knows how to fit it.
Archie Moore in Chicago in November of '56 in 5 rounds. He won the title at 21. He topped Joe Louis by 2 years. Since becoming the heavyweight king, he's defended his crown 3 times, KOing Tommy Jackson, Pete
Berbick hanging on like Mitch Green did.
He's been the youngest ever to win the title. He's been topped by 2 other boxers who have won it in less bouts. Jim Jeffries in his 13th. Jeff Rose, who's watching tonight in California, in his 31st. And that was one less than Patterson. He was born in Waco, North Carolina. He has grown into boxing from a 147-pound submounted boxer in the 1950 Daily News Golden Gloves to become the champion of the world. Along the way, he won 9 amateur titles, including the 1952 Olympics.
But his body won't let him do what his mind wants to. And he's counted out. It'll be scored.
He lost only 1 professional fight, and that was to Joey Mack.
Mills Lane counted him out to 10. It's all over. We've got a brand new heavyweight champion of the world.
Slight cut on the cheekbone, right cheekbone of
Trevor Berbick was brave, and he only going
He's in the black trunks, the champion of the
world. And from about the midway point round 1, he couldn't do anything. There's Jimmy Jacobs in there. Bill Caton also works with him. A very happy Don King. Kevin Rooney congratulates this champion. Jose Torres there in the ring with Mike as well. Former light heavyweight champion of the world. Trevor is disappointed, can't believe what's happened. And it's jubilation to the corner of this guy, Mike Tyson. Let's watch the finishing blow. Crunching right hand.
Leads.
Wow, with the left hook. Then a right hand right in the temple bone. And he's in trouble here. He reels backwards. That's the very first knockdown of the fight, and he's able to get back up, and you saw the punches that landed. He misses that uppercut. But notice it's all Tyson. Berbick doing nothing offensively. And look at the courage in his mind and heart. One up, but he won't. His legs are rubberized. Look at him.
The seconds yelled to Patterson.
And
Keep
it'll
your
be
hands
scored
up getting out.
as a knockout
Protect
for
yourself as you
Mike
back away from that
Tyson.
clinch.
And that's it. He's not ready. And Mills Lane says, no, you're not back your feet. It's all over. And we've got a brand new WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And he's a youngster named Mike Tyson, who can reign for a long, long time. Most people in boxing say the only thing that can beat Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson himself. That remains to be seen. Trevor Berbick reign as the WBC heavyweight champ is over. As bad as his mind wanted it, the body wouldn't allow him to continue. A disappointing night for a game and valiant former WBC champ. Look at this. Berbick won the title 8 months ago. That was a 12-round decision over Caitlin Thomas. Tonight was not his night. And it may not be the night for many other former or reigning heavyweight champs in the other divisions. Mike Tyson is for real. And he is the WBC champion of the world. We'll have the official announcement momentarily from our ring announcer. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee.
If you notice, Patterson changed his strategy in this round. He backed away, and then suddenly stepped in because he's a good 6 feet away from his man. He's going to come slashing in and slashing out. He kept up a steady pressure in the earlier rounds. It's a 15-rounder, and of course, this is round 6. And that's the champion. This is been called by him and his manager a tune-up fight, but the only difference between this and a ordinary tune-up fight is that if accidentally the challenger wins, he gets the title. Title is at stake here, all the way. Seconds are yelling instructions at Patterson in the body. Also, London has been going into more of a crouch this round than in previous rounds. He has been standing straight up and has been open for body shots. Now he's been leaning forward to protect the body and at the same time protect his head with his gloves. That was the round in which Patterson came out and circled his man instead of bombing him immediately, and that was the round in which London went more into a crouch to protect his body and at the same time holding his gloves up to protect his head. By leaning forward in a crouch, his elbows come down and protect his ribs because they're badly battered and bruised. This is round 7 of a 15-rounder with the world title at stake. The champion is Floyd Patterson in white. The challenger, Brian London. Only 3 Britishers have come over here to fight for the title. And many foreign boxers have had chances at the world heavyweight crown. Carpentier, Firpo, Heaney, Farr, Cockell, and Godoy, but only 4 have been successful in winning it. Bob Fitzsimmons, Tommy Burns, Max Schmeling, and Primo Carnera. The seconds again yell, hook faster, head down. One minute to the end of round 7. Seconds to the end of round 7 of a 15-rounder. That's the end of round 7. Both men now have a tendency to go into a crouch together. If you'll notice that when Patterson goes into his crouch, London goes into his. Crowd gave a little flurry of applause there. One of the infrequent times that London led. He led with a right uppercut as they moved into a clinch, and that was the occasion of the applause. London's knees are rubbery. He's taken an awful lot of punishment. He's slowed down now to where he seems to be unable to avoid any of the leads. London's jabs are very light, just delicate little flicks. Terrific right to the stomach hurt London. You can see him gasp and pull back. He's a very game Englishman. He's taking a bad battering in there. Seconds. That's the end of round 9. It's interesting to note the reaction of the crowd here. They're having a wonderful time. It's a noisy crowd. They're applauding. They're enjoying it. And, of course, the curiosity factor of seeing the champion of the world in action has interested them. A noisy crowd, a happy crowd, a sellout crowd, nearly. Boing. They're doing an awful lot of signaling and talking to each other there. Patterson got off 5 or 6 jabs and then a terrific right and nodded as if to say, how did you like that one? Right hurt London. It shook him up. These are real thumping shots. London has really been hurt. That's the first time I've seen him show any reaction to that punishment. London is hurt, so we may, if he lasts this round out, we'll have a camera on him in the corner and see how his seconds are working over him. Slowed down. He started off slow, and he's real slow now. London spoke to Floyd in the clinch there. rang. The bell rang at the count of 5, and London got up and walked to his corner. Now we'll watch them work on him. The count got to 5 as his knee came off the canvas, right a foot or two away from us here in the ring apron. Now we're looking directly at London's corner. They gave him some smelling salts, and they have the ice bag on his head. But apparently because he got up and walked under his own steam, the doctor is not being called in the ring to check him. First knockdown of the fight, around 11. Well, a lot of people will be comparing London's number of rounds that he lasted with the champion with Archie Moore, who lasted 5. He's now passed Hurricane Jackson's total. Those body shots. He is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The fight is over. The fight is over in round 11 with a full count of 10. A very dramatic shot here now. Let's see what they're doing to London, because the champion is leaning over to see what he can do, and now he's been pulled back up on his feet upright. Florio on the left and Kasa D'Amato, the white-haired manager of the champion. They finally got London to his feet. And the crowd here is giving him a big hand. He took a terrific clobbering. Never had a chance. Never looked like he was even going to come close to hurting the champion, and the champion hurt him steadily with body blows.
Ladies and gentlemen, a KO in 51 seconds of the 11th round. The winner and still heavyweight champion of the world, Floyd Patterson.
And now into the ring, and Don Dumphy, champion Floyd Patterson. And just as soon as he's ready, come on in, Don.
Patterson, the heavyweight champion of the world, who has just defended his title by knocking out Brian London here in Indianapolis. Congratulations, Floyd.
Thank you.
Do you think, I get the impression that this was one of your toughest fights as far as giving out punishment and failing to get the man down? How do you feel about that?
Well, this man was a very, very tough fighter. I don't think I've ever fought anyone quite as tough outside of Dick Wagner and Hurricane Jackson. But this man took everything I had to offer and still stood on his feet. I think even though he might have lost tonight, he might have won as far as his country is concerned, because I think he is very, very game. And he is to be congratulated for that, if nothing else.
Well, Floyd, that's awfully nice of you, and I guess that's about what everybody feels. Did he hurt you at any time?
Well, I didn't get hurt, but I imagine if I would have been a more stationary target, I probably would have gotten hurt several times.
Oh, one more question, Floyd. I know you're a little wary from the punching. How do you feel you were tonight? Were you sharp as compared with the Harris fight?
Well, I was a little better. Of course, I still have a long way to go. There were still opportunities there tonight that I failed to take advantage of, but I'm a little better than I was when I fought Harris, and I guess by the time I fight Johansson, I'll probably be even sharper.
Thank you very much, Floyd Patterson, and good luck, and continued good luck. And now here's Kasa D'Amato, the manager of the heavyweight champion. Kasa, I'd like you to come over to our NBC radio and cameras and tell us what you thought about the fight.
I thought that this fellow was up against just too much speed, but he's a dead game fella, and I think if he trained in the United States under American tutoring for 6 months, he'll run most of these fighters out of the ring.
Well, Kasa, what do you think about Patterson tonight?
I thought Floyd was twice as good a fighter as he was with Harris. I believe that he'll be a better fighter even next time.
Were you satisfied with his weight? He was a little bit light, wasn't he? 182 and a fraction?
I'm never concerned with weight as long as Patterson feels good. He had speed, he had power, but this guy had extraordinary gameness and ability to suddenly punish.
Well, there's no question about it. Well, Cus, good luck to you and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I thought it was a good fight from your standpoint.
Thank you
very much. I'd like to go over and see if I could get Brian London over to our NBC microphone. Both boys are posing for pictures out here in the center of the ring. Brian, come on over to our NBC microphones and cameras. And how do you feel, Brian?
Well, I feel proud to have fought in Floyd Patterson for the World Heavyweight title. And I think, personally, in my own opinion, I am quite in my senses now, that Floyd Patterson is the fastest thing on 2 feet.
He was awfully fast tonight, wasn't he?
He is the fastest thing on 2 feet. I was hoping when I fought him that he may have had a bad night, but boy, if that's a bad night, he can sure go.
Tonight's fight is the 11th championship match to be held in this very building. Now, let's move inside. Incorporated. Promoted by Intercontinental Promotions Incorporated. Between the heavyweight champion of the world, Cassius Clay, or Muhammad Ali, and the challenger, Floyd Patterson, the only man in the history of boxing to twice hold the world heavyweight boxing crown. Coming to you live from the fabulous Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, a real big one tonight. First two in the ring, gentleman Gene Delmont, who boxed 10 different world champions way back when. Gentleman Gene is now about 70 or 71 years of age, and our good friend Jackie Fields in there. There goes Eddie Fisher. The fans give him a good hand. Rocky Marciano is getting ready to climb into the ring. And then we see the march down the aisle. There's Gene Fulmer. There's Floyd Patterson coming down from his dressing room, going into the ring with a red robe, very confident, getting a good hand. Now, while Floyd Patterson is resting in his corner, the former champions, there's Sonny Liston up there, are gathered in the neutral corner around Jackie Fields. We have our cameras on Floyd, and that's the idea, naturally. Harry Krause, who will be the referee, is climbing in the ring now. Krause, one-time outstanding welterweight and middleweight. There's Cassius Clay being roundly booed. Muhammad Ali, who wants to be known as Cassius Clay, still bouncing and coming around, going up the ring stairs now.
Will Billy Kahn come to the ring, please?
Cassius Clay is to our left from our vantage point. Floyd Patterson to our right. And now let's go up to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you kindly rise and remain standing as Eddie Fisher sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, and the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nice going, Eddie.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have you meet some of the men who have written boxing history down through the years. From another era, here is Gentleman Gene Delmont.
Gene boxed 10 different world champions dating back to Benny Leonard's time.
The former welterweight champion of the world, Jackie Fields.
Jackie was the Olympic champion back in 1924.
Here's the former middleweight champion, Gene Fullmer.
Gentleman Gene Fullmer, always popular around the boxing world.
The Pittsburgh Irishman, who now makes his home in Las Vegas, the former light heavyweight champion of the world, Billy Conn.
We remember Billy for his great fights with Joe Louis, a great gladiator of yesterday.
The former heavyweight champion of the world, Sonny Liston.
Sonny just told us he's got to come back. Wants to meet George Chiavallo, maybe in Pittsburgh.
From Detroit, the fabled brown bomber, Joe Louis.
Need we say more?
From Brockton, Massachusetts, the retired, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Marciano.
Very popular guy. Unbeaten, untied, unscored upon, 49-0.
Now, Intercontinental Promotions Incorporated, Robert A. Nylon president, in conjunction with the Silver State Sport Club, Jack Doyle and Mel Greb, co-promoters, and Sports Vision Incorporated present 15 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world, sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, John Bud Traynor, Commissioner, James Deskin, Executive Secretary. The judges assigned here this evening are Harold Buck, Bill Stremmel, the timekeeper, Lou Pearl, knockdown timekeeper, Steve Romeo, the referee, Harry Krause. Physicians in attendance are, in the red corner, Dr. Donald Romeo, in the white corner, Harold Arkshaw. The principals, from New York City, wearing black trunks, weighing 196 3/4 pounds, the challenger, Floyd Patterson. From Louisville, Kentucky, wearing white trunks, weighing 210 pounds, the heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
Both of you boys received instructions earlier. The mandatory 8 count is effect. The 3 knockdown ruling has been waived.
We're trying to pick up Harry Krause's words to both men.
Remain here until I wave them out. On the inside, when one hand is tied up, I want you to break. I want you to step back and break clean. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Step back, shake hands, and come out fighting at the bell. Shake hands. Wait, I'll see.
Round 1, 15 rounds. World Heavyweight Championship. Now the round begins. Raising left hook. Raising. In the first minute of this fight, Cassius Clay seems content to just move. Hands very low. Halfway through round 1. No, I was wrong on my timing. Only about 40 seconds left in the round.
All right, cut up the center.
Clay is clowning at this point. That's round 1. Very little scoring in round 1, as we saw. Muhammad Ali is talking with Angelo Dundee, his manager. Muhammad did very little punching, was content to play, was content to move. Angelo talked hard to the champion. Clay is now talking to the crowd, to the $100 ringsiders. It's a matter of ring style. Floyd was, hand tied. Look out, Buster. Clay is grunting all over the ring. No knockdown. Floyd wants to unload or explode his left hook. He's got it cocked, ready to shoot all the time. But Clay keeps you off balance with the jab. It's a beautiful left jab. Half a minute to go in round 2. Closing seconds of the round. McTeer's help seem to be running Cassius Clay. All ready for round 3. Shot the best so far thrown in the fight. Beautiful left jab by Cassius Clay. And don't kid yourself, Floyd's not an easy target. 2 minutes to go in round 3. Halfway through this third round. Minute to go in round 3. Floyd keeping his hands rather high. Wants to split that left lead if he can and shoot that left hook. The left lead is hard to slip. Beautiful jab. about 14, 15 seconds to go in this third round. Man, they're exchanging good left at times. Closing seconds. Getting set for round 4. We'll note that Floyd isn't leading. He's forcing the issue, but not leading with punches. He wants to counter the leads of play. Harry Krause, the referee, just asked the fellas to keep punching. And he asked Clay to stop chattering. He wants Cassius to stop talking. And to stop holding. 1 minute gone so far in round 4. Halfway through this 4th round. Clay is changing his style. One minute to go in this 4th round. Clay is shaking no. I don't know why. Closing seconds of the 4th round. Now let's talk to Reg Gutteridge of the London Evening News. Reg, you've covered many outstanding World Heavyweight Championship fights here in America. How does this look to you right now?
Well, there's no doubt about it, Steve, that all the young people in our audiences will talk about this man as we did Jack Johnson. He's absolutely incredible. I think it's Jack Johnson and Tommy Burns all over again. He's playing cat and mouse with him, or possum, as you call it here. And it does seem as though Clay has prophesied exactly what he would do, that he would punish him severely. Patterson's feet seem to be gone. He just can't get any coordination going at all. At one time, he turned around there. He tried to throw a combination punch, but failed miserably. And those left jabs may seem as though they're only flicking, but they're hurting. They're piling up points if nothing else, Reg. Reg Gutteridge of the London Evening News. Thank you, sir. And Reg just compared Cassius Clay with Jack Johnson, and that's a pretty good comparison. We're in round 5. Floyd now wants Cassius to come to him. And it looks like he's going to do that, too.
if you're concerned about the tail of the tape or the dimensions, Clay is 6'3" and a fraction, while Floyd is an even 6 feet tall. And in reach, the reach for Clay is 79 inches, 71 for Floyd. So from the standpoint of dimensions, the champion has it all over the challenger. Floyd is asking Clay to come to him. Minute to go in this fifth round. Seconds more in number 5. Closing seconds of this fifth round. Well, I know we all score this one together. We're 1/3 in. We're going into round 6. Looking at Harry Krause, who has done an excellent job thus far as third man in the ring. And Harry was a good fighter, some 25 years ago, and certainly knows his business inside the ring ropes. The medical man in charge here tonight, very qualified fella, Dr. Donald Romeo. Now it's round 6. Looking into, with our close-up, our creepy peepy camera, into Floyd Patterson's corner. He looks good. A little problem around the nose, but seems to be okay. This is number 6. Big round for the champion. Very big. Ten seconds to go in this round. Floyd will take a knockdown. Mandatory 8 count. Mandatory 8. They're refreshing Patterson. Clay poured it on in the round 6. Threw every punch in the book at him. Harry Krause handled the situation well. Mandatory 8 count. We're still looking in at Floyd Patterson. Buster Watson talking. Buster Watson telling Floyd what he wants. Round 7 coming up. Is being beamed around the world by Sports Vision tonight. Early bird satellite. We're being seen throughout England at this present time, throughout Europe, South America. And of course, we're being heard on ABC Radio. Our friends Chris Schenkel, Howie Cosell, Tommy Harmon, and Rocky Marciano are broadcasting this one on ABC. Patterson was hurt with that uppercut. Floyd with a flat-footed stance wants to slip that leather, and then when given a chance, when close enough, wants to unloose those left hooks, but he can't get the shot. Uppercuts are damaging Floyd. And the jabs are offsetting him. Seconds to go in this 7th round. Uppercut again doing the damage. Floyd catching lots of leather. Wants to stand in his corner at the end of 7. Ernie Fowler, Al Silvani, Mickey Allen, Buster Watson, all trying to give the guy instructions. Buster's running the corner right now. Silvani's getting him ready. Ten-second buzzer has sounded, seconds out. Ready now for round number 8. Just measuring his man. Floyd seems to have had a cramp in his leg in between rounds. Still with flat-footed stance, looking to get leverage, looking to tee off. Play with a beautiful left jab and left lead, aiming shots all around the head and all around the body. And Floyd obviously slightly tired at this point. We're halfway through the fight. Halfway or less. With a minute to go in round 8, you'll note how Clay seems to fight with hands down. Gives you a big target, but shoots leather from every angle. Seconds to go on number 8. Beautiful left lead, more than a left jab. It leads to other punches. But Muhammad Ali might be turning it on right now. Cassius Clay going right and then left, then in, then out. A very tough target to gauge. Floyd wants to unleash that big bomb if he can. We're in round number 9. of the fight for the world title, Mr. 15. Floyd standing his ground, not leading, looking to counter if he gets a chance. I believe that it's Floyd's back that's been bothering him. We've had a tremendously good show for the crowd here this evening, about 7,000 strong. And the general manager for Intercontinental, Al Boland, put on an excellent show. Floyd hurt with that right-hand shot. Buster Watson yelling instructions from batters and fans, but Floyd can't seem to get off. 30 seconds to go in this 9th round. Raising shot. Floyd still walking, stalking forward. That's the end of number 9. That's definitely Floyd's back that's bothering him just a little. Buster Watson still talking with him. Al Silvani still trying to help the man. Nine rounds in the record book. 10th round coming up. Been an interesting fight. Matter of ring style, as we pointed out early. Cassius Clay, the mover. Number 10. Well, did you think it would go this far? Going to give it that do-or-die All-American try in this one.